Welcome, everybody, to what is retroactively being considered the third Chugcratic seminar, your monthly podcast for all things Transformers. I'm your host, Kit Catastrophe, but as you can probably tell from the sound of my voice, I am sick as a dog. So today's topic has been the brainchild of one of our other hosts, Runestone. So I'm going to add him to the stage and let him take care of the rest.
Howdy, people. How are you all doing today? Joining us for this particular podcast, it's the first time we've had a quartet. Is the ultimate kit back? Firstly, we have the ultimate kit pasher, the Chugmeister to end them all, the one whose name is in square brackets for some reason. IdArmed. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you. That was an introduction. I guess I am the Chugmeister of the
You're
group.
natural.
This really does directly apply to me. Yeah, I'm doing good today. I'm ready to actually be here after having to miss out on the second episode for a good reason. Family stuff. But I'm here now.
Fair enough. And also joining us, well, if you're on some random planet somewhere and you can't find G1 Galvatron in an plasma energy bath, then I'll tell you one thing. It's definitely Not Char.
You're too kind, Runestone. Hello, everyone. I am here.
So yeah, as Kit said, I'll be sort of co-hosting this one because he's not at his most well. God bless him.
My tonsils are the size of coconuts.
Unfortunately, for this podcast, we do have to start off on a fairly somber note, and that is, today it was revealed that the one and only Peter Spellos, the voice of Transformers Robots in Disguise 2001, Skybite, has passed away today. And I gotta say, like, I've seen the guy at a couple of UK Transformers conventions. Like, I saw him at the last Auto Assembly at a TF Nation, I believe. And I've never interacted with the guy face to face, but you can, like, from everything that's been posted on social media, you can tell that the guy meant a lot to a lot of people. He is undoubtedly a legend to end them all. And, well, I don't know if anyone else has anything else to say on the matter.
Well, I mean, I don't know much about his other work, but for me, RID was like a very big part of Transformers for me growing up. And of course, Skybite was a big part of that. So, it's unfortunate to hear about this. And I hope that his I don't know. I not really sure what to say. I hope his family is doing well.
Yeah. I think, IDARmed, were you trying to say something? Because it sounds like you're far away from the microphone.
No, that's just something else. I gotta say, I haven't really seen Riddle one, but I do connect with it a lot. It has been one of my favorite toy lines to back collect ever since I got back into collecting a couple of years ago. And I have to say, like, a lot of the voice cast from all the clips I see, how people talk about them on Twitter, Discord, whatnot. And the main thing is actually from your own videos, Runestone. Whenever you did TFCon videos back in the day, a couple of years back, you'd have clips of the various voice actors and guests, just kind of shooting the shit. And Peter Spells would appear. He always seemed like he just loved being there, like so enthusiastically. He seemed like such a wonderful guy. And I've seen a fair share again of people on Twitter who were genuine friends with the guy outside of a sense of admiring him for just being a talented voice actor. It seemed like he really clicked with people, and a lot of Transformer voice actors do that. Don't get me wrong. There's love for basically everyone, it feels like, right? But Peter Spellos was kind of a smidge fervor, and for that, I will miss him just for the vibes he always brought around to the fandom.
Yeah, I don't know if either of you have heard of a YouTuber named Crosshairs Productions. He does a Transformers stop motion. I did see a post a while back saying how he was his friend and mentor in a way. And when you see things like that, it just hits you there, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kit, any words to say?
Well, RID01 besides the toy line has been sort of a blind spot for me, so I don't really know anything about this person. All I can really say is RIP, shout out to his family and all that is,
Same.
you know.
Yeah, I'm aware that I did look up his filmography, and he has done a number of media roles. But to us Transformers fans, he was the coolest shark around, the coolest shark in town. Skybite, that was him.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I think next slide. Can't think of a better segue. Next
On
slide.
to the chug.
Recent purchases. Who wants to start us off?
I guess I'll take a crack at it. Lately it hasn't been too much really. Just because I'm kind of anticipating what happens for Black Friday, over here in the States, because it's a big deal. But the one major thing I got, I've been holding it for like shipping for a couple of months from Big Bad, has been Ultimate Primal from Takar's Rise of the Beast stuff, and it lives up to the hype. Everyone I saw that got it loved it to bits. I was like, oh, it's gotta be that good, but like I kept pulling it off. I finally shipped it. It's so fun. It is like the most probably toyetic Transformer I've messed with this year, outside of probably like the Junkions and Armada Prime. Because but it's like this beautiful fusion of like having like the posability you could dream of from like any leader or commander or whatnot. He's got the index finger and free fingered fused fingers. He's got ankles. He's technically got a toe tilt. He's got like the clickiest ratchets you could ever imagine. He's got intentional butterfly joints that aren't meant for transformation or infantry butterfly joints. But like you combine it with him being big, he's hefty, like he's the same size as a Prime Wars leader, but like he feels like at least a solid 1.5 times the weight. And then he's got spring-loaded wrist launchers or forearm launchers. He's got freaking missiles. Haven't really seen that on a toy since like Combiner Wars Seekers. And then he's got his swords that actually can combine together and the alternate faceplate. And it's like I genuinely can't stop messing with it. Like it is really not left my line of sight basically. And
Sounds like a return to form to like the old days of leader class toys, like
absolutely, and
like leader class Prime from RTF.
It's not like that big. If we're talking like size, but if we're talking about like heft and play features and all that, it's perfect. It's just, I guess to get off of like the whole recent purchase thing, it just kind of baffles me that Hasbro saw this toy and decided to not import it, but instead they put out that $120 Command and Convert Optimus that's like a RoboSen Lite, and I don't know anyone that bought it. I know it's meant more for like parents to buy their kids thing, but I feel like
I actually know the guy who got Fuse one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I hung out with him at TF Nation, and he was quite smitten with it, but personally it doesn't seem like something that's going to interest most collectors.
Yeah, and even kids who, I assume it's the target audience, I just, with how gimmicky it is. But like again, Ultimate Primal, it's $60. It's literally like $5 more than how much a leader is over here. So like I don't know how this couldn't have come out here. It
feels like the kind of thing. It feels like the kind of thing that you would get as like, I don't know, something to bring out at parties.
Ultimate or the Command and Convert?
Command and Convert. Convert.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Meanwhile, like Ultimate, he's just like an actual just display piece. He has the freaking presence that you'd want in one. It's really good. I really recommend it to you guys if you have the chance to pick one up at some point.
Maybe. I'm not too much into the Rise of the Beast designs, I'll be honest, but I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same camp. It skews close enough to Beast Wars, which is like my probably second favorite continuity. At some point, I do plan on painting it up in the OG, in the original Optimus Primal Toys colors, just to, like.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Oh, me too. I'm looking forward to painting it once I can get some stuff to actually get back to painting white. But that's a whole other thing. I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, as far as recent purchases go, I have not bought much because I am the #1 Chug hater, and there has been no Chug that interests me. So I haven't gotten anything in that regard. But I have bought one thing that's going to be my Christmas present for this year, and it's relating to the thing Kit got recently. So when he shows off his thing,
Gotcha, okay.
you'll see.
And what about you, Rune?
Well, I haven't really got much either. I mean, recently I bought a Novocaine, and as for Transformers toys, I for real though, all I bought recently is Studio Series Core Class, Noah Diaz, and Novocaine. The strange thing is, despite Noah essentially being like, in many ways, he's comparable to Earthrise RC in that, well, he kind of sucks as a Transformers toy, but there's something about him, or at least something about that figure that, for some reason, I just can't be too hard on that one, because you have the figurine of Noah in the exosuit, and the jet drone makes for a nice little accessory that detaches and presumably can be used by any of the larger figures. It's just kind of charming. I just can't really.
I plan on buying a lot down the road, actually, for a bunch of customs pertaining to like a future TFCon LA. It's TFCon LA. It's a set of customs I'm doing, but like the figure looks nice. I kind of agree. It brings up a lot of vibes that like RC did, except again, it has the advantage of being like a human in a suit. So
yeah, I was gonna say it feels more forgivable that Noah is like a core class. It was pretty simple because in the movie he didn't even transform. He was just a guy in a Power Ranger suit, basically.
And plus, like you mentioned, Rune, that jet, I don't have him yet, right? Like I said, but I've seen photos, and like that jet does seem pretty kitted out with like a 3mm port, 5mm port, like a lot of ports. You know, that's what the whole generation's ecosystem runs on, like just ports to plug and unplug and combine and whatnot, right? So, it seems like they've given him a lot that made up jet thing a lot to do, which I honestly really appreciate. So, I do hope to get him down the line pretty soon.
But beyond that, I think at this point I'm just holding off until the Christmas sales and hopefully some figures will be knocked down a few pounds, knocked down a bit, so I could pick up some cool toys. But I think enough about me. I think Kit has something to say regarding his recent purchases.
All right. So this question doesn't really apply to Runestone since you're sort of a generation above us. But for the other two, did you all ever meet someone in high school who was way too into Sabaton for his own good?
I was that kid.
Is that the band? Is that a band?
Yeah, the band.
No,
yes.
that one band.
I did not really know a Sabaton guy.
Yeah, that was
me.
me. That was me. I was really into Sabaton way too much. And that is why my most recent purchase is Toys Easy Doragus, or Doragus. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I think it's meant to be Doragus because it's based on the name of the second gun, which was named Dora.
Yeah. This is a phenomenal figure, and he's super detailed, super big. The first thing that really took me by surprise was just how fucking huge the box was. And the box is pretty. The toy itself is wonderfully painted. Like, there's so much tiny little text details all over him. The paint feels good. The joints feel good. The plastic feels good. The transformation is really finicky, but you kind of knew that going in. But he feels reasonably fragile in that he doesn't feel like he's ever going to break unless you do something really stupid with him. And his robot mode is super stylish. The vehicle mode or the gun mode or whatever you want to call it is super interesting and super intricate. And I really want to go all in on this line, but the only thing that's stopping me besides the price point is just how huge the figures are.
No.
If I get the Yamato, if I get the Wisconsin, and if I get, the Tiger's Hank?
Yeah, the Tiger.
I don't know where I'm gonna put them. They're just so big.
Have you
Have you considered just selling your Chug?
I was gonna say, have you considered just displaying them in vehicle mode, or does that personally to you like take away the appeal of it being like this real life military like vehicle or hardware that turns into a big robot?
It's more like putting it in vehicle mode would just take up even more space.
Okay.
So,
Oh, geez.
Yeah, they have massive footprint in vehicle mode
yeah,
because they're
because
just so long.
This guy turns into a railgun or a gun on rails, and the other guys turn into boats. And then the Tiger is obviously a tank. But this is a phenomenal start to the line. I really want to pick up the Yamato sometime.
Honestly, I'll have to after this look into because I don't know if I'd buy Duragus because I'm not really into like tanks, I guess, or whatever the Gustav is. But something like a Yamato or Wisconsin, those are just battleships. I feel like that'd be cool to just kind of have displayed in ship mode, make it like a talking piece. Just a conversation.
They also have a bunch of modern day Chinese warships if that's your thing.
Okay.
Except they all look like bootleg Gundams instead of like cool samurai and shit. The aesthetic on their like World War II stuff is much more interesting to me than like the modern stuff because it's all just like cool super robots generic thing, you know.
Yeah.
But their World War II stuff looks so cool, and I am very much looking forward to Christmas this year as I got one for myself.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta start gauging. I have to start gauging what my self-bought Christmas present is because it's probably gonna be big Cybertron Metroplex. Because like he's gonna probably be like $100. I'm cool paying like.
If he goes under $100, I'm biting.
Yeah, but I mean, I do have a hefty pre-order that is for like a very foreboding, which is the Groundion portion of a Great Robot Base from the Diaclone reboot, which is as in the hypothetical situation where I don't change my payment from USD to yen, it's gonna be like $400. So I want to get it. I'm gonna try my damnedest to get it because like GRB is like my Unicron because I care way more about Diaclone than like I'll ever care about Unicron. Just keeping it real, right?
Yeah,
that's reasonable.
$400 is still $400. And then Cloudacross, which is like the jet that forms the top half and completes it, that's like $400, and that comes like smack dab before TFCon. If that's what happens, I might just cancel it and buy it at the convention. But also, I don't know how I'd ship that home realistically. So,
if y'all want to talk official Transformers, I recently ordered Machine Wars Hoist and Prowl.
Ah, yeah, no, I saw.
Well, whichever truck is the black one.
Hoist is the black one. Hubcap's yellow guy.
Gotcha. They both start with H, so I get them confused.
Oh my god, they do. Yeah, no, I saw TFL got a pretty sizable haul of that stuff lately, and it's like, oh man, that's some good stuff.
Yeah, so it's usually pretty good prices for it too.
Oh, it's been so long since I bought anything off TFL. I really feel like I need to snag some stuff from them again. They are like one of the best TF sites for figures by far.
The only TFL I'm familiar with is Transport for London. What is this?
Transformer Land. It's like a southern U.S. based buy sell trade Transformers website. They sell stuff for pretty decent prices, especially like older stuff such as like Riddle 1 and not really Armada.
Fuck off trying to buy Cybertron shit though. They mark that up real high.
I think we're starting to really hit that, like we're starting to hit the UT going expensive thing that
we get into that age where like all the kids who grew up with UT are now like in their like early 20s.
Yeah, yes. And like kind of makes
I'm
again,
already in my mid 20s.
I think next year, like if we're talking just pure like quantity, we're gonna have more Cybertron figures in Legacy, I believe, than Armada. I mean, Armada is gonna have a Titan, but like if we're talking like things you could easily find at retail, there's gonna be a Deluxe and 2 Voyagers from Cybertron. So like, I find it crazy. We're kind of skipping like the Energon hype. I know we're getting Core Megatron, and he's gonna be fun and stuff like.
Well, that's because Energon was the best toy line. How can they update it?
That's true. Also, I feel like I guess I'll talk about this real quick. I talked to Evan, like a very quick conversation with Evan through Instagram about Energon, Megatron, and Core class. Like why does he exist? You know, like that specific Megatron in that specific size class, and a lot of it was chalked up to like they are testing to see if like Energon sells with people, as well as they want an Energon figure because they're trying to do as much as possible for the 40th, and also they wanted they wanted a Megatron and Core class, I think. So like that all kind of led up to Energon Megatron happening, and I think it'll sell well enough that they try something like probably not Hot Shot first. I don't know if they'll do that Hot Shot design this soon after Armada and then Cybertron, like one after another.
It'd be funny.
It would be funny, but like
I'm still kind of sad we skipped Beast Wars and went straight to Unicron Trilogy. Sorry, we skipped RID 2001, went straight to Unicron Trilogy.
But I'm not gonna lie, based on like the kind of wishy-washiness of how they've been coming out so far, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of prefer collecting the original line instead. It feels way more kind of definitive for the characters. Like
I mean, in Legacy, all we're just getting are subpar repaints and the shittiest sideburn you could imagine.
No, it's so weird. It's so weird because like I like that Shadow Striker. I'm just not gonna like it as sideburn. You know, like it's don't know really, man.
I mean, honestly, all the RID toys are perfect. They are like the perfect renditions of their respective characters. The only thing I would change is maybe Optimus Prime having like gap fillers for the side of his torso, and that's the only thing.
Yeah, not even then. It's like not really a distracting thing. It's just more like you can tell the guy's wearing armor, basically.
Yeah,
all
and
right,
also
now,
the fact that like tires crack.
All right, so we're 20 minutes in. How would y'all like to move on to our main topic of the day?
Yes.
Well, the thing is, before we get into that, because IdArmed wasn't there on the last stream, we do have a slide for this, I think, Kit. Do you want to, IdArmed, do you want to like discuss your thoughts on the new studio series reveals, however brief or expansive they may be?
Yeah. I'll kind of speed through them real fast. So let's go size order. Mohawk. I think Mohawk looks really fun for like a $10 figure. He turned out a lot like more for like a $10 core class figure. And let's keep it real. Core class figures are like they're no like scout class from like Reveal the Shield ROTF era, right? He still looks surprisingly like well done and like pretty accurate to the film. So I might just buy him for funsies. Like he looks really. Rumble's kind of white noise. I'm not gonna lie. I was like I've been debating with a lot of my more Bay fan friends about like, oh, are they gonna do like the Rhino from the comic, or are they gonna do that weird looking design from that one Bumblebee comic that came out after the movie? I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's really weird design. But instead, they kind of just went with this CAD model that apparently has been around for like 5 years, and it's just G1 Rumble with a faceplate and stuff. And
it's just so nothing, isn't it?
Yeah. I got probably some repaints I want to do, but that's just me putting the work in to make it a fun thing. But like, I would not buy this like otherwise if I didn't have ideas in mind. I'll kind of squeeze Scorponok and Wheeljack together. They're both alright looking. Scorponok looks kind of fun, but I'm still kind of mixed on the colors they picked. But I kind of am glad they like. I don't know. It looks different, and I kind of appreciate it, but like not for me. I really like. It's not one of my favorite figures of the year, but I really like that kid line Scorponok that came out here in the U.S. at Target. I don't know if you guys over in the U.K. got it at all.
Transformers toys are not a thing you find in supermarkets these days in the UK.
Yeah, no, I don't even know if like In Demand got it for you guys or anything, but it's like a nice like vaguely deluxe-ish, but like Legends Engineering kind of figure in.
Is it the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Scorponok you're talking about?
Yeah,
I have that one.
Yeah, and like I like it. I kind of prefer it to this, but so. And then Wheeljack is kind of like a better Mirage for me, where he's got like I think his alt mode's like fantastic looking, but then the robot mode kind of suffers for it. It looks a little brickish and stuff, but I don't think it looks as bad as how Mirage turned out, or not bad, but just more disappointing. The one other thing I have to say about Wheeljack is that I find it funny he comes with like a G1 Ironhide gun in clear for some reason. This feels like a legacy thing. Obviously, it's not a legacy thing, but like you think he would have come with like his like wrist cannons that he had in the movie, but I don't know. Scrap Heap is that the Junkion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He looks good actually. I'm surprised by how much retooling he has, but honestly, I've been kind of smothered with really neat looking Junkions this year that are all like pretty new takes on what a Junkion can be. So to go back to another basic Junkion is probably going to be a pass for me unless it goes on like deep clearance like Scrap Junkyard did.
I like that we are getting both flavors.
Oh yeah, no, like absolutely. And honestly, I'm gonna be kind of sad if we never go back to like having unique Junkions again, because that was really fun. Uh, I guess we'll see what happens. Because like we got fossilizers last year, a year after the line day where like the highlight of kind of ended. So I hope the same happens eventually. Even if they're just retools of the existing Junkions. Starscream is weird, man. Did you guys talk about it last time? Right?
We
Oh boy,
trashed
we
it.
did.
I don't know. Like I do like to give the team a fair chance, but this one, other than maybe like the Deco, which I think the Deco looks pretty nice. I like the metallic-ish blue they used and whatnot, but it does nothing for me. I mean, the game designs aren't my thing since I didn't play the games as a kid, so it's a pass, obviously, like all Gamer Edition figures. And then Megatron, I do kind of want him like right away. He's got like a vibe to him. Like I know the alt modes can be a bit funky, especially the jet mode, but like I think it looks nice. Like it's a lot of it's probably going to be like an in-hand feel to really get how I ultimately feel about the figure. But if I see it in stores, I might honestly scoop it up for full price. And
Its tank mode is very Revenge of the Fallen-esque to me.
yeah, to me it feels more Metal Sluggish, which I kind of like the kind of big, kind of the big bulbous tank cannon and surrounding that's out on the tank anatomy like that. It's got a nice look to it, and robot mode looks really great. So I might scoop it up. We'll see. And I think that covers all Studio Series.
All right. Despite what the next slide is, I think we should actually get on to the main event. We could always come back to the reactivate one. So the main point of this particular podcast, as the title says, it's our Chug wish lists. And if by any chance you're new to Transformers and have stumbled across this podcast, God bless you. But also, Chug stands for Classics, Henkei Universe Generations, which refers to the various toy lines that are about providing modern toys of past characters. So what we've done is we've basically picked a character for each of the current size classes: Core, Deluxe, Voyager, Leader, Commander, and Titan. We're all taking turns as to what character we want for each size class, and we're starting with the Core, obviously the smallest. And Kit, I think yours is first in line. So your Core class pick is.
Yes. Before I move on to that, I want to say I had quite a lot of difficulty picking stuff for this because a lot of my ideas of what I want to see in Legacy would just be repaints of stuff we already have. So I really had to think outside the box for this one, but I think all of you will be pretty happy with what I picked. For my core class pick, I picked Energon Dive Bomb and Superlink Shadowhawk. I just really like Dive Bomb. I think it's a great mold. I just want to see what they would do with it in the modern day. It would probably suck ass,
Oh my
just
god!
like
Yeah, I
everything
was about
else.
to
But
say.
anything to get this blue bird on American toy shelves.
My immediate response was going to be, how could Hasbro possibly improve on this? Like, it would just you'd just be getting an inferior version of the original toy, in my opinion.
I would, but my only other option was like freaking Signal Flare, and I don't really want a Signal Flare.
In the context of you don't like OG Signal Flare, or like
It's more like I don't really feel like it's necessary to make a new version of it. That's a design that can just stay in the past. I just want more versions of this bird.
I have to say, I would have kind of agreed with you that maybe a brand new one would be kind of a lesser take on it before United's first wave of cores got revealed. But after seeing like Tasmania Kid and Galvatron, which of course are core class, so they're not like the craziest things in the world, right? But like they seem a lot more involved than like past ones, and I think that's also just due to them not doing a whole bunch of G1 guys for another wave.
At the same time, they would never do the unfurling clear plastic
Oh no, absolutely
feathers.
not. Best case scenario, you get like you get like some like static piece of plastic to represent it that they paint green. At best.
Yeah, I can see why you chose this for the core class. The one of the army building characters of the show. Well, I mean, at least in the cartoon it was. I actually own this toy, and I'm with you all the way. There is a fantastic mold. I think I don't know if I'm alone on this one, but I think it's impressive how like wings into leg transformations they just generally seem to go over well for the most part because well many consider it just to be an impressive piece of engineering because you it's like the pieces have to be like substantial enough to make proper legs but thin enough to make plausible wings, and Dive Bomb here pulls it off beautifully. And well, yeah, I mean, is do you share that opinion or what?
Yeah, I think so. I'm thinking about all of the Transformers that I have in my collection that have a similar transformation. Namely, and really the only miss out of them would be Earthrise Wingspan, or Titan's Return Wingspan. Um, and he only barely did that to begin with. So, but I'm just thinking of Beast Machine's Buzzsaw, and of course, I don't have Rise of the Beast Air Razor, but I've seen pictures of it and it looks peak.
It's so
It
crazy,
is.
man. By the way, like such a fun looking deluxe locked behind in a 2-pack with two like more middling deluxes. Like what was that about? You guys in the UK, you guys got lucky. You could just buy her willy nilly. I think, right? Like you guys had her sold like individually in the UK, right?
Yeah, that's how I got her.
Oh man, yeah, you guys got it good compared to us.
Yeah, with the movie bombing, I don't think we'll be getting those single packs
No,
anytime
I'm just
soon.
gonna accept that I have to like import it from like Japan somehow, or wait out for TFCon.
I would totally get the 3-pack if I saw it. I just haven't seen it.
Speaking of TFCon, just like staring at Shadowhawk Cosmotype, the blue guy. Oh my god, I have to look for him. Like honestly, if I can find him, I will get him. Because wow, I've never messed with the mold, but I'll take your word that it's really good because it looks really good.
So is that all you had to say, Kit?
Yeah, I think so. Just my final thought would be, in retrospect, it probably would have done more good to pick someone like Cruel Lock or Insecticon, since they suck.
So I believe IdArmed, you're next.
All right.
Did you manage to edit the slide in time?
Oh, someone did. One of you guys did. I didn't know this. I didn't know the.
I added the names.
Thank you. All right. So this is like again, all my picks are pretty basic or like pretty not surprised if you know me very well, which I think all of you do know me well.
Relatively.
I want Signal Lancer real bad. Like he's like of all the characters that showed up in Cybertron, because Cybertron won with the cat, like Cats of the Toys, so they basically did most characters from the show, but this guy was missing. And like back then, I think fair enough, he just turns into a stoplight. But I think now, with again in the context of like Energon Megatron, Beast Wars Second Tasmania Kid, and a brand new guy in like the same wave, I feel like this guy isn't as much of a like distant pull. And like my whole thing, I imagine, is like he'd probably be pretty easy to transform. Fundy Studios, that one, those guys that make like a crap ton of really cool upgrade kits. They made their own Transformers Signal Lancer. It's possible, but then you can add on the fact that like we can bring Airlock back a little bit. Airlock, the Rams from Earthrise, which they are still around, but they only keep them on the Titans. But like if he came with like a little piece of plastic, you just put them on, and it's got like Airlock clips on every single side of the square. Connect them up to like Metroplex or your modulators from Earthrise, because like I think it's kind of important to keep those play patterns somehow, because like especially with like the modulators ones, because we got only a couple molds in Earthrise, and then that was it. Basically we got those, we got the ramp guys, and sometimes the Titans have the clips, but like I think it'd be nice to bring them back in some shape or form, and I think you guys will tell I really want that to come back in like some of my other picks later.
I feel like he would go well if you released like some with like some racing style characters again.
Oh yeah, like a Velocitron. Oh, like a hypothetical Velocitron wave free. I don't really know who you'd pull for that one, but like something like that. Yeah, I'd be very down for it if he was like a bonus with like the leader class in the wave or something.
Yeah, yeah. Have you? I assume you've seen this because you're you, but have you ever seen someone customized Cybertron Mudflap into Signal Lancer?
I as I was looking for photos of Signal Lancet at it, yes I did. And it looked surprisingly good, like idea wise.
Yeah, I think actually the show model was a modified version of
It absolutely
Mudflap's
was.
design.
He's just a Mudflap retool.
Yeah, Voyager class Signal Lancer. Let's go.
IdArmed, like you were saying about the airlock feature, I would love to see like a bigger version of this, and his accessory would be like a smaller version of his alt mode that could plug into like the back of the stoplight, and the back of the stoplight could be like a road or something that could fit deluxe sized cars on it. I feel like that would be cool.
You guys don't. I might be over exaggerating a little bit, but like I think the whole airlock modulator thing was like has been my favorite straight up gimmick that Generations has done because like it felt like the most playful thing you can do with Generation figures and ages. And maybe
I'm not a base guy, but if I'm not a base guy, but if I was, I would be inclined to agree with you.
Nah, fair enough. I'm just saying, like it.
I don't know. Really I think you're pretty based.
Thank you.
It stunk that we got like 2 deluxe molds, 3 different little ramp guys that honestly still to this day are like kind of made fun of, and then Skylinks and Swarpnock and whatnot. You know what I mean? But like, I kind of wish they just continued doing them, like every like one figure a year or something that aren't again just the Titan classes that have little ramps on them.
Yeah,
like all I gotta say about Signal Lancer, by the way. So,
I just think it'd be cool to have. It also might be the closest that Legacy's animated Prowl gets to having his old traffic light accessory back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they could spin it like like how the new Primal from Studio Series. He's got like things for other guys. Just that would be neat.
Yeah, this would be a definite pickup for me, especially considering he has no other actual figures.
Oh yeah.
So, is that all, ID?
Yes.
In which case, it's Char. You're up.
All right. This is sort of a multi-pick because I decided to go with RID 2001 Universe Hotshot. I'm pretty sure it's 2001 Rune, not 2000. Not 2000.
Yeah, well, the boxes say otherwise, so we're sticking with it.
Okay. Hotshot. I decided to go with the Spy Changers. The Spy Changers were, of course, a whole faction of characters in RID 2000, and the reason I chose Hotshot is because he was the leader guy, so it makes sense to make him first. And the thing is, once you do one Spy Changer, you can kind of do all of them because they have basically the same transformation. Besides, like Rune mentioned a while ago, Mirage and Ironhide, who are slightly different because one's an F1 sports car and the other one is a dump truck, or not dump truck, a pickup truck. But other than that, you could basically do all. You do one Spy Changer, you basically have a pre-tool for every other Spy Changer.
Not just
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
What if we sort of like mash this together with the Junkion play pattern? Customize your own Spy Changer.
Ooh, that would be cool. You could make you could have all the vehicle outside bits be like shell parts.
Oh, that's like what Hot Wheels does. Like those,
yeah, kind of like a Hot Wheels thing.
I kind of dig that. I don't know if that'd be like too much for a modern core class, but like it'd be welcome, honestly. My line of thinking with brand new Spy Changers is that I'd hope they're just like. They're intended from the start to be the Spy Changers, not the other way around. But I feel you could get some more G1 core class guys out of this, like a core class side swipe or something. Like using.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you could also do the G2 GoBots out of them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And of course the Universe Spy Changers.
You could get like
infinite repay potential.
You could get like so much like Gen Selects. Well, if Gen Selects, actually did cores and. Same thing for like all the lines. Just like they could go for days with these.
You could do like a redo. Remember the 20-pack of like Micromasters that Hasbro did a couple years ago. Imagine
There's
that,
the-
but spy changes.
Yeah, no, they do. I would so be down for like a big, because like they did the 10-pack for Siege, and then I think some of us probably remember that amazing like 12-pack from Universe of all the mini cons. Oh my god, I wish I got that. When I
Oh
was
yeah,
a kid.
that one. I had that one as a
I
kid.
had that
I still
one.
have a few of those.
Honestly, it's kind of a grail just for like memory's sake, because I wanted it so bad back then. But yeah, no, I feel like once you do Hot Shot, like you could just get them all out, and I feel like they'd sell really well because tiny cars, and surprisingly, someone that core class does not have a lot of.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, kids love little cars.
Exactly. Plus, I'd say this is the thing, we've had core class figures that have pinned down wheels, right? I feel like those are kind of a must for these, because that was partially like one of the original.
Yeah, because the whole thing was they had like the Hot Wheels style rolling wheels.
And again, like I think it was Core Bumblebee from a couple of years back had one of his sets of wheels be pinned on, so like they could totally do it, and I would want to see it.
I doubt that Hasbro would stretch for pinned wheels. For some reason, they really don't like doing pinned wheels, even for like deluxe classes these days.
Even for like leaders, and I think even Commander Rodvis had pin cap or like mushroom peg on wheels. So it's 50-50 really.
And then
Yeah.
they just make fucking Beachcomber with pinned wheels and rubber tires for no reason.
I think he's a pretty simple figure, but like with Beachcomber, he was pretty simple. He is pretty simple, but like they just went all out on everything else, which is like, I wish they did that more. You know, like admit a figure's simple, but like go out on everything else. It will make it more respectable of a purchase.
I agree with the sentiment.
Yeah, I'd be down for this one. Cool looking figure. Hotshot is. It'd actually be interesting if they did this at the core class, since in the grand scheme of things, he shares the same transformation as Sideswipe, and well, Lord knows how many times they're willing to reuse the Siege Sideswipe mold at this point.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got. I think we still got a couple more out of the way.
I'm sure we do. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say on this one. Anything else, Char?
No, that's all. That's pretty much all I had to say.
Anyone else?
No, I mean that means you're up, Rune. So what did you pick?
Yes, it is. So my choice for core class is Robots in Disguise 2001, or 2000 as Legacy dubs it. Gas Skunk. He's one of the Predacons from that series, and one of the smallest at that, which is why I think he'd be well suited to the core class. The original Gas Skunk toy is repainted from Beast Wars Stink Bomb, and as someone who owns a Stink Bomb, big surprise, it seems like he'd be a relatively simple character to engineer at the size. There are a couple like design elements that I have in mind with this one, but before that, I just want to hear your guys' thoughts.
I think they should make it Scratch and Sniff.
We had in another toy line I heavily collect, Masters Universe Origins. We got a Mossman figure who is one of the heroic warriors from that line, and he kept his like sniffing gimmick where he smells like pine. So like I would really love to see them do it here. Oh my god, I don't know how that would work on bare plastic though. That's my only thing. But like, man, I would be there for it. Like, no question asked.
You could give him like that. You could give him like that sort of fake tufty fur that you get on like plastic toys sometimes, like those little tiny like plastic animals that have like fake fur on them. You could put that on this figure and then have that scented.
All right. But on the whole topic of Gas Skunk and Gas Skunk Slapper and Night Scream, about them all, I think they could work as class or core class figures. I feel like preferably if I want new ones, I prefer they be deluxes. But I feel like they could be done at core and work actually justifiably well.
I mean, my feeling is much like Dive Bomb. This feels like it would just be an inferior version of the original, as someone who also owns the original and very much likes it.
Yeah. Again, like I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about Sideburn, I think, but just so many Riddle 1 figures, I just don't feel like replacing at all, like quote unquote replacing, whatever the term is. That is definitely the basics, because I really think that TM2 basics are some of the best palm-sized Transformers we've ever gotten, and will
Oh,
ever.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
new
Well, the
ones
thing-
priced at either like $12 or $25 is kind of a hard sell.
The thing I was going to say about this one is that there are a couple of design elements I had in mind. Like I wouldn't want him to be retooled from the upcoming Legacy Tasmania kit. Hell no. But there are a couple of design elements from that toy that I think could potentially work here too. For starters, on that Tasmania kid, the rear beast legs form the robot arms, and that's kind of how Gasgunk operates, except for the fact that his feet rest on his upper arms. And I think if if they were to make a new Gasgunk, if they had his feet, like beast mode feet, form his robot mode hands, that would clean things up a bit. But this would come into conflict with the second thing I had in mind, where the biggest setback for this one would probably be the tail, given its size. And my thought was that it could perhaps detach. Like if you wanted it to retain that ponytail, if you want to call it, you could plug it on to the back of his head. But alternatively, it could detach to form some sort of handheld saw blade. But the problem then is that his hand would need to be like a standard fist, which like I say, comes into conflict with the first design element I had in mind.
I think
yeah.
I think with a new Gasgunk, especially because Night Scream and Spittor are a bit more straightforward. Gasgunk's a bit of a weirdo by comparison in terms of his transformation.
Spittor is like
Spittor's just got that weird, what is it, like the weird like waist
torso
twisting,
transformation,
which is really great, but I still think that's pretty doable. I think with Gasgunk, you just gotta stick as close to the original toy as possible.
I think there would be a nice compromise if the tail weapon thing would be a 3mm instead of 5.
Oh yeah, no, almost all like cores are 3mm. The only ones off the top of my head were like, I think it was just Draconon and Vertebrate from Kingdom. They were 5mm for some reason, and since then I think everyone else has been 3mm.
Yeah, but I don't think it would be too bad if he had 3mm fist holes.
But hypothetically, making it a whip continues the modern Beast Wars trend of have some kind of vestigial body part that you don't really know what to do with in robot mode. Just make it a whip, because that's basically how it's been so far. Like with guys like the cats, it's been like the cats, and I know there's another guy. Also Cheetor from the movie, Scorponok from Studio Series. They just keep making whips out of them, and it's like, okay. I guess that's
that one snake guy who's like most of his body in snake mode becomes a whip.
Oh, that's Collada, but like Collada's cool, like most Neo guys. Plus, like it's in service of like just being a toy, and like it's an actual whip too, because I don't own Collada yet, but
yeah, it's like it's got the loose joint, so it can
exactly.
You can actually whip it. Yeah,
it's an actual whip as opposed to just a body part that you peg into someone's hand.
Kenny Nene.
So, Rune, is that all we gotta? You think that's all we really have to say about Mr. Gaston?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else other than obviously if they were to do him, they could perhaps do Stink Bomb in selects, but I understand that Gasgunk is the more prominent character by default, so they do him first. So I'm done. So I think that wraps it up for core class. So now we move on to deluxe. Kit.
Well, it's funny. I'm gonna keep it onto the Beast formers, and it's funny that y'all mentioned Karada because I'm sticking onto Beast Wars Neo with an unused character, Star Upper. I honestly have no idea where he comes from. He just has this cool ass design. He's a boxing kangaroo, and he just looks really cool. I wish they would make a toy of him. He doesn't have a toy. I think he would work at deluxe class, and that's really all I have to say.
The one thing I think about with Star Upper, who I also would like to see, because I'm down for anything Beast Wars. It has a pretty good track record, right? would they stick to the anime thing or go realistic? I assume they'd go realistic, you know.
I
But
assume because
I
that's their
assume they would
MO,
go realistic for the beast mode, but stick with anime for the robot mode. Sort of like a Lyle Convoy situation. But I would hope to God they keep the boxing gloves.
oh, of course they. That's like the main thing. If the only thing I could imagine is like giving them the option to come off so you can be like a slightly more realistic kangaroo. You know, that'd be nice.
Maybe
But
make the boxing gloves detachable.
yeah, exactly. Just so you can like, if you want a normal kangaroo, we haven't had a kangaroo transformer yet, so like, I like the option to have it just as a kangaroo. You know.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the way looking at like the design itself, it looks like that's the way you would have to do it, so that like the boxing gloves
Ah,
detach in robot mode, and then they can attach to the kangaroo mode fists.
yeah, good
You see?
eye actually. I never clocked that.
I think I would prefer a transformation where like the kangaroo arms are fully posable and the robot mode arms come out from inside and form like an Iron Man-esque frame around the kangaroo arms.
Ooh, that would be
I
so
think that
nice.
would be peak.
That would be pretty cool, but would you trust Hasbro to pull off that kind of engineering?
No, but I would like to see them at least try.
I swear, there's the one time they did it and it turned out pretty alright from what I've seen. Never handled the figure as what was it, Dark of the Moon Ultimate Optimus, where like his super mode, let's call it, like his arms were posable with the whole frame thing from the trailer that makes his arm bigger. It seems really cool. So I think they have they have the technique for it. I just don't know. If
I
they
would
do.
rather a bad toy that tries something really cool and unique than a great toy that does nothing interesting.
Yeah, fair enough. Like
That's
honestly,
fair.
that's a fair way to view these figures. Honestly.
Honestly respectable. Yeah, I like the idea of this toy. I feel like it's doing something that like has like Generations doesn't do enough, it feels like, which is making new toys of characters that never actually had toys.
Yeah, no, it's I'm not gonna say it's like my least favorite thing about Legacy, but like I can imagine myself being disappointed. We're getting better. Like we got that Filch figure next year, in Legacy's Walmart line, and that is probably gonna be a retool of an Air Razor of some sort. But like that's a character I've never had a toy before, so it's cool. Like
That's the
I
character
genuinely commend
that's
them
the
for
one
like,
from RID 2015,
yeah,
right?
Purple Bird Lady.
Yeah,
Basically, that's all I know about her.
Yeah, I remember wanting that figure as a toy back in the day. When I saw her on the show,
So
and
like
being disappointed.
stuff like that happening is great, and it does give me more confidence that I don't know how long it probably won't be till like 2029 or something like that. Something it's very far out, but I really feel like Star Upper might happen one day because again, who thought we would get Tasmania Kid at retail as his own mold, you know? So things are probably looking bright for Star Upper, I'd hope.
To address a point Kit made earlier, Star Upper is actually he is apparently the winner of a character design contest held by a Japanese manga called Comic Bomb Bomb. But as for what I think, well, it's Beast Wars. Do I even need to say it? Of course, I'd love a toy of this character.
Yeah.
Of course. It'd be an amusing clash of aesthetics with a realistic kangaroo wearing boxing gloves. And I do like the idea of them being removable. Some sort of power punch feature or something like that.
I think it'd be really cool if those boxing gloves were also just like like the way actually Prime Bulkhead does his gauntlet, or not gauntlet, his wrecking ball. Just like,
Yeah, I was imagining something like that.
If we have to make them detachable, like you gotta take them off, put them on robot mode, it would be kind of disappointing. But like if they had the little ports on or plugs on the inside, I'd take it. That's, I feel like, a decent enough compromise for me.
It'd be interesting design to pull off. Where they'd sell him, it'd probably be Legacy. Although I think his most prominent role was actually in one of the Japanese Beast Wars video games. So, well, if Gamer Edition felt like expanding beyond the High Moon Studios toys, yeah. So that's all I have to say. Anyone else?
I'm done.
So, IdArmed, your choice for deluxe class?
All right. Skyhopper. But this one, I think it's more broadly another deluxe modulator MicroMaster vehicle comes back and is updated to have a robot mode. Because for context, I actually do have the original G1 Skyhopper. I plan on painting it up for something fun for TFCon because I don't know if I need it around anymore. Might buy it at a later point, but it's probably my favorite MicroMaster thing I've handled, in the sense of it's just this really nice helicopter, and then it completely unfurls out. You slap a bunch of ramps and guns and stuff and giant satellite, and it's a pretty great base mode. It feels really open and stuff, and which is why I feel kind of wishy-washy about having them in the deluxe slot. But it's just more, like I said, a rep for some more a new modulator deluxe. Because again, I don't know how many of you handled both Ironworks and Airwave.
I have the repaint, the
Hasbro
Pulse repaint.
Yeah, no, the pack that came with the MicroMasters and whatnot.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, no, I do. That made me really love those two figures. They're already fun, but when you have them in United Color Scheme, they were really great. But I just would number one, I would like more helicopter transformers. We don't get them as much as we should. Helicopters, you can do so much. I feel with that vehicle into a robot designed around it. That I think it'd be another fun modulator kind of thing, and then just get another base mode going, something new. Because again, I like the Airwave mold, I like the Ironworks mold, but it's a shame we only got two. And then we got Grease Pit, who was actually a pretty fun slight retool of Ironworks, and then we got Hot House, who honestly, if you're okay with fan modes and stuff, you can make some fun unique modes out of him. But it was kind of lame. He was just an Airwave repaint with nothing new. So I'd love to see Hasbro rectify it with a brand new modulator mold.
So my assumption is you'd want this guy to have his own robot mode then.
Yeah.
If
it's feasible, which again I think it is, if it's feasible to have it as well as take apart, put it back into a base mode, because I'm imagining this from the modern perspective of you take everything off, you reconfigure it, you got the base mode, right?
I know a certain someone made a version of this guy who turns into a robot mode.
Oh yes.
It's never. I don't know if that'll ever come out or whatever. I kind of feel wishy-washy about it. I don't know if I want to get too much into it, but
if it was anyone but him, I would buy it.
Yeah.
If it was made by anyone but him.
Yeah.
If I bought it, if anyone who buys that toy would be doxxed instantly.
Oh man. But no, it sucks because it also makes it actually. It is kind of what I was thinking of vaguely when I was picking this, but he made it work.
Yeah. That guy was a really talented guy, but he kind of sabotaged himself by just not being able to work with people.
Yeah, we got 4 people in the chat. If y'all don't know, some guy from Singapore named Athena made a toy, a completely custom toy of Skyhopper that turned from helicopter to robot mode, and I think also gave it a base mode, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm. He did have a base mode.
He was a prolific leaker, and he was apparently getting tired of people leaking certain images, and so he had the bright idea one day to take a picture of Puffer and Road Ranger and just plaster the N-word all over the image, and someone still leaked it, and Athena got a lot of backlash for it. Everyone calls him racist. I don't think he's genuinely racist, or at least not in the way people are saying he is. I just think he's an idiot.
He doesn't hate black people. He hates Westerners.
Yes.
And it's a shame, by the way, because the stuff he's made looks so good. At least in the 3D model kind of stage of things.
Oh
yeah.
He's also just an asshole.
That too, yeah.
Can't believe that all that stuff
and die.
2 years ago, man. That's crazy. Oh man, time flies. But yeah, I think that's all to say about Skyhopper.
I had one thing to say, and is so your pick for Skyhopper, it kind of reminded me of this idea I had for the evolution of the modulator gimmick a while ago, which was I had this idea that you could have done the Micromaster Transports type characters. And was Skyhopper a Micromaster Transport?
No, Erector, Overload, Rough Stuff, and the purple boat guy that's not Tidal Wave.
How did none of us pick Erector?
Okay, well, see, my problem is I have the original Erector. I don't have his trailer. I just have Erector, so like I'm good, honestly.
Because he's already perfect.
Yes, like I should really get his trailer. Actually, it looks so fun. So,
But anyway, I had this idea that you could have like combined the Micromaster gimmick and the Modulator gimmick, and combined them together so that the Modulator, instead of being its own character, could have formed a sort of mech suit.
oh my god,
For the Micromaster, and that's how you could integrate them together. And I thought that would have been in my opinion, the ultimate evolution of those two gimmicks coming together. But
would have been
that sounds pretty cool.
for that, actually.
But yeah, Hasbro went with fossilizers instead. So,
I
you know,
Look at us coming up with a shit ton of good ideas for toys that Hasbro will never use.
That's just how it works. But I think concerning Micromasters, I feel like we'll talk more about them concerning some of my other picks. But I think with the hype surrounding Jolt and that SG Whisper, I think slowly they'll maybe start weaning back into doing Micromasters. I'd hope, because there's so much stuff they need to still do. I'd love to see them still do as divisive as those Micromasters back in the day were. I think they can really go back, and now that they kind of have made it work with minicons, I think I'd like to see them try Micromasters again somehow.
Just make them better than they were before.
Yeah, just literally just make them as good as the minicons. Sell them in as deluxe packs of 4s or something. I don't know.
Do it again, but properly this time.
Yes.
Yeah, don't worry about shitty weapon modes or anything. Just make them good and solid.
If they happened now, I don't think they would have the weapon modes. I think they would just totally forego them and give them actual heals or something instead.
Yeah, you think the weapon modes were just a way to shoehorn in the combat gimmick from Siege?
No, it's not even an if. It was yes. It by all means that had to have been it.
The marketing people got to have their play pattern.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I feel like we should probably move on to our next pick. Char, are you ready?
Oh, well, no,
yeah.
I haven't given just to quickly give over my thoughts. Well, I'm not opposed to anything you put forth regarding a Skyhawk, but I don't have either a modulator mold as of right now. If I do, it would probably be a Grease Pit. But
he's the best one.
Maybe cool if we do this. So, Char, your choice for deluxe.
Oh, before we go on to that, someone in the comments, BioDragon882 said, "I kind of wish that they'd make the Micromasters into just full-size dudes. IDK, I've just always preferred that." I kind of get it. I really liked Universe 2008's whole deal of making Micromasters really big.
They were.
Oh yeah, I was about to bring that up.
Even if they were just random repaints of
the repaints of Power Glide and Jetfire and
CDF Scattershot. They did
CDF
Red Alert.
They did.
Yeah, they made Ultra Class Countdown.
Count Kit. It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years since I bought you that Cybertron Defense Force Red Alert. I need to get that Countdown, or I probably want Red Alert first. Actually,
I have Countdown. He's really nice.
I need Countdown as well.
Such a good mold, and I need that Countdown guy because Countdown's one of my favorite Micromasters.
Yeah, Power Glide became Storm Cloud, and it was Treadbolt, wasn't it, from Jetfire?
Yes.
No.
Yes, the blue Jetfire.
They did, and then there was there was Flak from Bakan from Scattershot, but Bakan being Bakan, they made them in Arctic camo colors.
Bakan don't count.
It counts, man. It's an officially licensed toy.
It doesn't count. There's only 5 of them ever. None of us are ever going to experience Flak.
But he looks so.
I've got BotCon toys somehow.
Yeah,
but do you have Flak? Didn't think so.
True.
Yeah, that's because most BotCon toys before before 2011 feel impossible to get. It's
my only genuine BotCon toy is fucking Shattered Glass Straxus.
I have here's a flex. I have BotCon, Sunstreaker, and Sideswipe.
Oh,
ooh, that's a good one.
I'm kind of jealous because that's some Rid Prowl.
Yeah, they're really nice, and they're also my only fully functional versions of RID 2000 Prowl, because I have the original version, but one of the wheels is gammy. So
yeah, I'd be okay with a couple of big Micromaster guys. Actually, thinking about it,
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah.
All right, now I think we're ready for Char's deluxe pick.
Yeah.
All right. Deluxe Class Armada Demolisher. This pick, this is a design that I picked because I feel like the toy is so close to being perfect. It just needs a couple things.
Now, what are those? I've shockingly never messed with this mold, and like I really need to get on it sometime soon.
The main thing it's missing is the ability to rotate the head and the ability to swivel the arms outwards. If
Is
it
that-
had those two
is that, like-
things,
That's it, really?
that's it. Otherwise, it's like surprisingly well articulated for an Armada figure.
And it looks so good too. Okay, random thing. I have Blackout, but I don't have Demolisher, and I feel like I need to rectify that, because I've seen all the things demolished. He was a what did they call the Lexus back in the day, like MaxCon, MegaCon, whatever.
I think it's Super Cons.
And like he's got 2 missiles. He's got the whole stick Blackout in the middle thing. Blackout can sit in the back for a turret. It's like, wow, holy cow, man! This is one of the most Armada figures to ever like exist. I feel like, and
It's a really nice figure.
Yeah.
And
It was-
Pardon?
It was my first ever Armada figure. When I went to experience it for the first time, this was my first pick, and it was great.
also, I think I'll say this, and I'm saying this as someone who actually lightly enjoys Hot Shot. I know he's a very divisive figure actually, but I feel like Demolisher is not one of those designs you can really futz with the transformation scheme that much because it's like the most butt easiest transformation. You look at images of it, you're like, oh, okay, I see how this works. So like, I feel like you can't really mess it up. Ergo, it would probably be a pretty good update. I actually think.
It is just, in my opinion, it's just such an easy slam dunk.
Yeah, like you'd get so much like goodwill if you just released the figure and it's this, but with like outwards hips, outwards shoulders, and a head.
No, it has outwards hips.
Oh, it does. Okay, it doesn't really look like it, but I'll take your word.
It has it's not
They
like intentional, but it has like the transformation joint for it.
Yeah, they don't go out very far, but definitely enough.
Yeah, man, what a fun. I'm surprised more people don't bring this figure up when talking about like Armada, Max Cons or whatever, Super Cons. Like instead they bring up like Hot
Bendy
Shot,
Prime.
Bendy Prime too. He's a good one. He looks good.
He's like,
I'd be absurdly down for an update.
yeah.
No question.
Yeah, I think the only thing I disagree with is that he should be a Voyager. But beyond that, I'm with you all the way. That the original figure is pretty solid. I mean, other than lacking articulation in certain parts, and maybe you could have an option of folding up the platform on his back, if you want. But yeah, I'd be down for this, and that's all I can say.
Yeah, this is very much like one of the most like everyone liked that like things you could never do for like Armada and Generations.
Yeah, and so Hasbro will never do it.
Oh, give it like I feel like genuinely give it a year or two and they'll get to it. I hope.
Remember when they made a prototype Demolisher head for freaking Combiner Wars Onslaught?
Yeah.
I can't like concerning things like that. I can never really get like mad at them because like I don't know if stuff like that, if they were ever gonna be released, were intended to be like the true and realist update, right? But I see them more as just like fun spins, like as in like you could just retcon it to be like a G1 Demolisher because there is no G1 Demolisher. I was talking on another Discord server. There is no G1 character named Demolisher. This is the first time they ever used that name, which I find insane. That it took that long to get a name as Transformer sounding as that.
Yeah,
basically.
it's kind of funny when you think like it sounds like a more obvious name for Devastator.
Yeah, no, like,
Demolisher, because it's a construction vehicle.
yeah, like I find it weird because like I consider myself a pretty big fan of the Transformer franchise, right? But like nowadays I kind of have to remember who the original 6 Constructicons are because I keep thinking Demolisher's in there for some reason, but no, he's not.
He's an honorary Constructicon.
Yeah, especially with those Energon colors. Oh man, I'd be so down for Energon Universe Demolisher, like as a repaint of this hypothetical deluxe. I
Yeah.
love those colors. But anything else to really say about Energon Demolisher or Armada Demolisher? I got them mixed up now. No, or are we going to move on to rooms?
If you're into BattleTech, he can. If you're into BattleTech, which I think one person in the stream is, because I know him. you can do like a rifleman. You can do like a rifleman fan mode of him, of the toy, where like you fold up the arms into gun mode and fold up the head, and it's basically a rifleman from BattleTech.
I think I have the vague idea from what I can even recall about BattleTech, and like I think that's probably why Demonster just hits those real type mecha vibes, and I think that's
Yeah,
he
he
so
does. Cool. He has like armored core proportions.
Yeah, no, like big hips, not real hands. You know, just it's such a good design.
Honestly. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Yep, same here.
So I think that that means I'm up for deluxe class. My pick is Generation 1 Landfill. He's one of the double target masters, and we've been getting quite a few of those characters as of late. We've had Spinister in Siege, Needle Nose in Legacy Evolution, and of course we're getting Quake in Legacy United. And if you want to go even further back, there was Scoop in Generations.
I was going to say this is Scoop's buddy.
I still stand by the fact I think Scoop's actually a pretty fun deluxe for his time. For the time that's apparently considered really, really budget crunched or whatever, like he's still really fun. So like,
I remember everyone was dunking on Scoop back in the day, but I want one.
I never. Well, again, this is more of a retroactive thing because I wasn't collecting during them, but like, I never got the dislike for him back then. Like he's good. Like honest
he's just a guy. He's just a yellow guy. There's nothing really wrong with him. He's just
so like
a superstar.
I want to say this Landfill here is the only post-movie G1 toy I have, and he's actually pretty sweet. I got him used sort of a junker condition at a comic book store in Monroe, and he's missing both of his Target Masters. I need to find them someday, but one of my friends was able to hook me up with some replacement stickers for him. And he's really rusty, but I don't know. His transformation's fun. He's got a neat style to him. Yeah.
I really like that. Aside from Detritus, of course he came out like basically a couple like months ago, or like a month or two ago, right? This guy has such a unique color scheme that we don't see a lot in like the things they pick for Generations again until Detritus, like the maroon, the tan. It's like I feel like they'd really stand out on a shelf. And of course the alt mode. Like when was the last time we got a dump truck? I think it was probably like SS Long Haul, and it's like
I think it was. You mean not SS? You mean Combiner Wars?
No, SS came after.
Oh right, of course. I was thinking.
I'm just saying, like dump trucks are very lacking, especially tiny dump trucks. So like, get one out, and I'd say. But here's the thing: you can't really retool this into a G1 wide load, right? Like, let me grab my G1 wide load. I actually have them chilling somewhere around here. And
if I may continue with my thoughts, his target master partners are Flintlock and Silencer, and of course the two can combine into a super weapon. What I like, because like compared to the most prominent dump truck transformer long haul, they obviously, for transformation-wise, you have the front of the truck form the chest, but and the part of the rear forms the legs. But in an interesting twist, the dump truck bed halves form not really form, but they conceal his arms, and because of how they like come forward, it gives him a very broad-chested, powerful silhouette.
It's a really cool look, and like. Assuming he happens, right? I assume he's going to be a bigger deluxe, as in like your point blanks, your point blank needle. Basically, any target master is like a head taller than your average deluxe nowadays. So, I think him though, he'd be like basically bordering on Voyager, which I think is really cool. Like imagining it in my mind, like how big he'd be. I think he would really stand out amongst like all the car guys and whatnot.
Yeah. I just wonder how they'd I just wonder how they engineer him. Whether they'd be able to pull off a similar transformation while, obviously working in modern standards of articulation. Whether they try the whole bed halves trick with a new Landfill. Well, I guess if they ever make him, we'll find out. And Obviously they probably work in portholes at the top of the bed so that his target master partners could plug in there as well. I don't know whether they'd make the bed empty so that it could function like an actual dump truck, or they just include the cover so that you could properly mount his weapons up top.
I feel like they come with the cover and they just have 5mm holes in it, which I think would be a pretty great compromise actually to like getting it to work. Or like look at the original toy. He's got those holes on the sides of the bed, so that could also work.
And in terms of while we're on this one, in terms of characters this could be retooled into, I'm pretty sure there are, in going with a previous point made, there are probably Micromaster characters that you could reuse and like a deluxe landfill for. But another one that comes to mind possibly is Energon Demolisher.
Oh,
That's a good shout. If I could make a suggestion, there was a mini-con in that Kmart 12-pack that we talked about earlier named Knockdown, who was black and purple, like black with purple trim. And I think a potential landfill would look really good in those colors.
Oh, make it like SG. There are two mini-cons named Knockdown.
He's like he's a funny looking guy, honestly.
Never mind, make that free. Well, yeah, I think
the black and purple one with the wheel titties.
Yeah, and he was in that freaking Kmart 12-pack. This is like the second time this stream we've brought that up in some way. That's insane.
I just said that.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I just clapped for you. But yeah, no, I'm telling you, man, those universe mini cons, they all look so fun. I need more of them. I want all of them, basically.
I will say though that Landfill's design looks like it, like if TFC Devastator was ever repainted into something not Shattered Glass, Heavy Labor, their long haul, would make a great landfill. Like the transformation is almost down to a T.
Which Devi is that again?
The Energon looking one.
TFC?
Yeah, TFC Hercules.
Oh, you mean the one from back in the day?
Yeah. Their long haul is the spitting image of landfill.
Oh my god. Yeah, that is, in terms of like the build and stuff, the I don't know what you'd call it, like the drapes aren't there on his arms, but like that's surprisingly dead on. Wow.
Yeah. It's just because the side walls of the bed become the arms instead of just being off on the side. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just making connections in my head.
So yeah, I just like to see this one and then just give us a quick mix. Whether or not they want to redo Scoop, well, that's down to them. Yeah, so I think that is it for me and for Deluxe Class. So now on to Voyager. Kit, you're up.
Well, this one's not very surprising. This, if you know me very well, this figure, Cybertron Scattershot, was the first figure I ever reviewed on my channel. And that's because it's the first figure I actually have a memory of receiving for my 6th birthday in a shitty Florida motel evacuating from Hurricane Katrina. And Cybertron Scattershot, is a very sentimental figure for me, but he's not good. So I would love to see him get a Voyager class treatment. There was a sort of 3D printed third-party attempt at him.
I was just about to bring up that one, actually.
Yeah, I don't remember the individual or company who was behind it, but the figure's name was Satchel because of the character's back.
That's actually
Japanese name was Backpack.
Coming back to me, was that ever supposed to be like a figure that actually released?
From what I remember, it was, but then, like, basically the funding for it fell through, and the company that was supposed to go on to make that toy just died, and no one else picked it up.
Yeah, I think the files got out there somewhere, but I don't know
the files
where.
are out there. I have the files.
Again, it's cool they're out there, but like a whole 3D printed figure is people.
It can work. I'm currently trying to print.
But like we're still not there yet, where it's like a consumer grade thing. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. But I do intend on actually printing that figure at some point.
Based on like some of the prints you've been doing lately, I think it'd come out looking in terms of like the resin, I think it'd come out very nice. But I have to ask Kit, as someone who hasn't watched the Cybertron cartoon since I was like probably 5, why Voyager class? Is he actually
just because I think he would be cool if he was big.
No, I agree.
Sorry, just quickly, I'll be back in a moment. I don't know if you saw the private chat, but I'll be back in a short while.
Gotcha. But anyways, I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia talking Kit, but I kind of have to disagree because I actually like OG Scattershot.
I just want him with knees and a locking torso.
I know. I want him with. I know he doesn't have knees and he doesn't have hips that swing forward.
Also in the show, the 2 missiles on his backpack were able to like rotate up and down, and the toy obviously can't do that either. So
I'm in favor of making this guy a Voyager class. I think Cybertron Scattershot kind of needs to be a Voyager class, almost, because like his design sort of implies it, you know.
I could see him as like kind of a. I don't want to say I'd hate to get more of these because I actually do like a lot of the ones we've been getting, but I could see him as like a deluxe sized Voyager, but at that point he's simple enough that you could just make him a deluxe. But if he was a Voyager and he turned out really good, I'd be on it right away, you know? Just to go with my original CDF Scattershot, who is a figure I never plan on partying with anytime soon.
I just feel like if you made him a Voyager, you could add so many little bells and whistles.
Yeah,
like more like sculpted in missiles, and by more I mean like
key,
as in like the missiles look even more like missiles, like they're more inserted in, like you can tell, like I don't know, just ways to make him feel like he's even more made of guns than he already is, basically.
Yeah.
Adding on to this, the reason that I didn't pick the Cybertron Defense version, even though I like that design more, is simply because that toy is already perfect.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the perfect size. It's not missing any articulation that you would want. It has tons of gimmicks, and it just looks and feels amazing. And they literally cannot do anything to make it better. Whereas this one, I still think there's lots of room for improvement.
No, yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, no, again, that freaking CDF Scattershot, he's like an all-timer, like, honestly. And I don't really see myself buying a new version ever.
Okay, I'm back.
You're back.
So, Rune, what do you think about Scattershot here?
Yeah, I'd love to see this at Voyager class. I think I'm pretty sure this has been brought up by someone, but the articulation is in definite need of improvement in the hips and knees.
Yeah.
And I think that if I recall, the chest needs to actually lock in place.
The torso does not lock in place.
Yeah, and those are the only things I like. This is a design that I think the Voyager class would do. It would work wonders for it, basically, and that's all I can say.
Totally.
And I hope that they include, like, maybe not as a cyber key gimmick, because they seem to have dropped spring-loaded features as of late, but I'd still want them to work in the missile pod and the launchers and all that. And yeah, and that's all I can really say for this one.
This is just assuming based on what we know about the modern team, I feel like they'd make those missiles swords or just some kind of stick weapon. Like you pull it out, peg it in the hand, boom, it's a sword now, or a lance or something.
Maybe a staff. Maybe they attach together.
Oh, that'd be cool, actually. Wait, that one would actually be cool. Just like I feel like if you couldn't do missiles, just make it some weird melee weapon, and I'd be cool with it.
Yeah, that's neat. Yeah. That's all I have to say about Scattershot.
I guess we're ready to move on.
So, IdArmed, you're up.
Yes. So, GT Universe Convoy, or like GT Convoy, right? And honestly, it's not specifically just like this specific thing. It's just, I would love to see, my whole thing is like, we've gotten a lot of cars lately, right? Like from Generations and obviously Studio Series 2, just mostly cars, because, Transformers is. But like, there's not a lot of Voyager class car guys, right? And I think it's kind of a shame, because I feel like with Voyager class, I'm not talking like something like 86 Ironhide or Trashmaster Hot Rod that's like a deluxe with more engineering. I'm talking like a big Voyager class, right? Proper Voyager. We don't get a lot. And I think it'd be cool to do like GT Convoy, because number one, it's a safe bet it would sell because it's Optimus, right? Number two, they already work with Nissan, which is the car, the model. And just like number three, it's again something new for generations. The only thing is like this feels very pipeline-ish because I don't know if they'd ever even reference something like GT or even something like super popular like alternity or obviously alternators. It's a bit more contentious, but like I really think like when if you guys remember a couple of years back they did Bumblebee and they did the Micromasters and Skylinks for Earthrise. All of them had real world branding, or in Bumblebee's case he was the car, he was a Volkswagen Beetle, and like that got a lot more people interested because it's a tiny Volkswagen Beetle that like transforms, albeit with some parts for it and stuff, but like still it was like really cool. And it's kind of a shame they haven't done it since, except for Goldbug. And I think doing real world licenses in Transformers just gets people talking, like, oh, the main one, right? VNR Prime. I still haven't picked that figure up, but like a lot of the discussion kind of didn't happen with the Holiday Optimus because it was more centered on, oh, he's Christmas themed, right? But like when VNR came out, people were like hyping it up as like just this something new for a G1 Optimus for once.
I really want to get that VNR one to customize into Sure Shot.
I am really banking on it being like a Black Friday item on Pulse, and I want to get it to like fully repainted in even more Optimus-y colors, which sounds insane, but I just want to pretty them up basically. And like, so yeah, basically, would I buy a GT Convoy that looks like GT Convoy? Absolutely, but like, I just want more real. I want more real world Voyager class cars. Basically, that's the gist of it.
What I'd love to see, because obviously this is effectively alternative, right?
I think the line basically was like they were smaller than alternators from what I know. So,
I just love to see a bunch of the Generation 1 characters in basically alternators or Binaltech decos.
You mean with like NASCAR branding?
Sorry, what?
You mean like with like NASCAR branding style details?
Well, I mean, as much as licensing can get away with. I mean, I mean, for example, I'd love to see Earthrise Sunstreaker in the Alternator's Dead End colors.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be terrific. But I feel like stuff like that is definitely just a thing Hasbro could do willy-nilly. Like, they don't need to go back to, I forgot what car Sunstreaker was in alternators. Like, I'm pretty sure you can just do it. Maybe they'll one day do it, actually, who knows? But I assume they also still own the trademark to alternator. So I think it's viable. But, like, it would just be really cool if they did it with real-world cars again. And I hope VNR Prime starts something like that, because keeping it real with you guys, I find it way more interesting than like random 80s thing but Transformer, personally speaking.
I don't know, I kind of like 80s cars a bit more than modern cars, aesthetics wise.
Oh no, I'm talking like 80s media, like the Ghostbusters, the Top Gun.
Oh right, yeah. No, I agree with you then. Yeah. I would prefer if they did more licensing deals with like actual car and vehicle companies. Or, hey, Lockheed Martin, and made like real world vehicle transformers instead of
because again,
it's a Ghostbuster transformer.
Yeah, exactly. Like VNR Prime is just an average Generations figure, but a real world vehicle, and it looks so good for it, So just do more of it, basically. That's what I'm trying to say with this pick.
Absolutely. For this design in particular, I feel like this is another case of, if they did it, it would just be an inferior version of the original toy.
If anything, like looking at it for the first time, like focusing on it for some ages, again, probably makes me want to seek one down just to like own it, because I'm cool with owning Optimus Primes like it's nothing. So, I think if that's all we have,
I'd be down for this. I gotta pick myself up an Alternity sometime. Maybe it'll be a TF Nation purchase or something.
And for me, a TFCon LA purchase. So.
If I had picked any alternity design to put into Chug, it would have been the Seekers.
Yeah. So that would be. Yeah. Oh my god! Imagine getting a Bonsai Tron out of that. Oh man.
Yeah, the car Seekers are really cool. I kind of wish they'd be revisited.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So I think Char, you're up next. What did you pick for your?
I picked something quite interesting, in my opinion.
It's different.
I was kind of looking through what to pick for my Voyager class, and I thought, why not do something that Hasbro has not actually done before? And I wanted to give Transtech a little time in the sun. And of Transtech, I think Shockwave is my favorite design out of it, because like I just think the Shockwave that turns into a drag racer is just a really cool concept in my opinion.
Oh no, this is my first time again really looking at this, and I'm like, oh my god, if like I saw a figure of this revealed during like a stream, I'd like spit out whatever I was drinking, hypothetically. Because like, but again, like I feel like this is something that may become real one day. I don't know if it's like a new mold or some crazy heavy retool, but I think it's really it's a really cool look. And again, it's different. Like you said, it's different and it's new and something that Hasbro never done. It will get heads turning and people probably interested enough to like pre-order and whatnot.
I mean, I just think, yeah, it's something that is out of left field, and it's just got like this. It's got this really unique design. It's something that would probably stand out, And also, you could tie it into the whole legacy storyline with the universes colliding, where Shockwave is part of the Transtech police, making the Dimension police, making sure these dimensional rifts go closed or whatever,
Like Loki, but with Transformers.
I was gonna tie it back into Sonic. If anyone's read the Archie Sonic comics,
I have not.
I have never.
No.
I'm not a Sonic. I don't think any of us are Sonic guys actually.
Sonic fan, point and laugh. Ha 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 ha.
But just like looking at
oh,
I wonder what that Splinter universe where Transtech happened instead of Riddle 1.
Oh man,
I feel like there's more things than just that. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of it hinges on things that happened in the past. But like just if like Beast Machines just led into Transtech, just what would that look like?
I would be really interested because we did see a couple prototypes of what it was supposed to look like, and like whenever I see stuff like that, I just think, man, I wish I lived in that timeline. I wish I could back collect Transtech figures from like 2001.
God, it's really like some like lost reality. Like
yeah, I wish I could like go back in time and like do whatever butterfly effect led to this line becoming a reality. Because like, man, just so cool in my opinion.
I'm just looking at that design and wondering how it actually transforms.
So from what I can understand, it would transform a lot like an animated Lockdown. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I can see that.
I must
next
say,
form the length of the vehicle.
I must say the front of it looks an awful lot like the Fall of Cybertron toy, if it's like 2/3. Just those intakes remind me of that sort of triangular star square in thing on the front of his vehicle mode.
A little bit. But I think on this version they would end up as like the top of his hips or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it could work, and just also the colors. Like, how often do we get a like that violetish shade of purple with like neon green? So like it's a color combination we don't get a lot. I'd love to see it somehow. Like,
yeah, that green just pops beautifully against the purple.
I think the last time we've seen something like that would have been like the Constructicons, maybe.
But also, a genuine question. Like, it's been a while since, not questionable, like, it's been like almost a decade since Combiner Wars Constructicon, so like they've been missing for a while, and therefore this color scheme's kind of been missing for a bit. So I'd be very welcome to seeing it for these colors.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say. Does anyone else have anything else to say?
Not really.
So I think it's me for Voyager class, and Beast Machines Universe Silverbolt. And believe it or not, I think we have the groundwork for this toy already, and that would be the Rise of the Beast mainline Air Razor.
Okay, yeah, that kind of checks out, honestly.
Because, like, again, we go back to the whole wings into legs transformation. And the first time like I handled that Eraser, the first thing on my mind was, this is Beast Machine's Silverbolt done right. Like it's just like all you'd have to do is upscale the design and retool a few parts, and boom, you have yourself the perfect Beast Machine Silverbolt. And of course, if they felt kind of ballsy, they could do a select release in the original toys. Interesting color scheme pictured on the right.
Yeah. Yeah, I support this choice mainly because it's one of those things where it's like the the original one was such a travesty that like whatever Hasbro did, it probably couldn't be worse than the old one. And so it has a reason to exist. One question I suppose do you think they try and do like the realistic texturing on the beast mode?
I feel like they would, but like with a more techno.
You mean like will they work in the techno-organic aesthetic?
Like how would they like you know how like the recent beast figures they've been trying to do like sort of realistic style animal modes? Like how do you think they'd reconcile that with like the techno-organic aesthetic? Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, are you asking would they make the beast modes more realistic if they were to do Beast Machines updates?
Yeah, kinda.
I'm not sure they would. I mean, we've got a core class Beast Machines cheater on the way, I think. So I guess we'll find out what approach they're going for with that one.
That is still such a wild sentence to say in 2023 going into 2024 that like we're getting a tiny Beast Machines. I guess like once that comes out, we'll have our like baseline idea for where to decide to go with Beast Machines. If they decide to go back to it so soon after this cheat war, which I assume they probably will. But like from there, I feel like we'll get an idea. God, I can't wait to see this cheat org just because like it'll answer so many questions. I feel like for everyone involved.
It's definitely interesting because Beast Machines, especially the Maximal designs, are sort of the black sheep of the franchise.
And I think they can still work, but like not just that. I feel like the first core they would have done for Beast Machines, if they weren't testing it like in the market first, would have been like just doing like a bike drone or something, like something simple, you know, like a bike
I would have bought a bike
drone.
I really like the bike drones.
But no, it's Cheetor, so I'm hopeful. I want to give them a fair shot with it. But obviously, it's definitely gonna. I feel like it's gonna get a lot of people talking. Like if this gets revealed before the next time we do this next month, I think we're gonna have a pretty long-winded discussion about it.
Personally, I don't know if I'd want them to go realistic with the beast mode in this case. I think they should just try and make it as show accurate as possible. I'm just trying to think what else to say. Yeah, no, I mean going back to a previous point I made, because obviously the Rise of the Beast Maximals are an homage to Beast Wars, but a couple of the toys in the main line actually make a pretty good basis for a couple of Beast Machines updates, because there's like I said, Arizona to Silverbolt, and the Primal I think could actually work as a new Beast Machines Optimus Primal, like Voyager class Beast Machines Optimus Primal.
He's certainly live enough.
I mean, it's got like the whole chest switcheroo gimmick, which it's a simple but effective trick, and I think it could work to Beast Machines Optimus Primal's advantage. I don't know about anyone else.
I would definitely be interested in seeing that happen.
I mean, when you look at it, like the Rise of the Beast design is a lot closer to the Beast Machines design than the Beast Wars design.
Oh no, absolutely. I totally agree, actually.
I have a suggestion for the name for the potential toy accurate deco for Silverbolt. Rotisatron.
Oh my god. Or like oven roasted Silverbolt or something like that. I feel like they'd probably do some silly toy color things, because like you guys have seen they've been pumping out toy colors for Beast Wars like it's no tomorrow. So like maybe they do toy colors for Beast Machines if they really feel like people would buy it. And honestly, maybe I'm crazy enough to buy into it.
I would totally be down for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think Beast Machines is like you can't deny that Beast Machines, in the grand scheme of things, has been pretty underrepresented in Chug. Much like Energon, they're pretty much testing the waters by releasing a couple of characters in core class, because with Beast Machines, neither the cartoon nor the toy line did great at all. And with Energon, the toy line was comparatively, like, it was better received in comparison, but the cartoon, on the other hand, is considered worse. So it kind of evens out on that one.
Yeah, I'm just kind of glad they're at least giving it a shot, but I do hope they go even further with it, like not next year, but in 25 and whatnot.
And I think that's me wrapped up. Anyone else have any other thoughts?
Oh, I'm ready to start
Not me.
tackling beaters.
Yeah, since I'm first up, I'm gonna be honest, I don't exactly have a lot to say about this guy. After going with Star Upper for Deluxe Class, I was just thinking, what other prominent unused designs are there in Transformers? And I thought New Rodimus here would be a pretty good shout for it. He's big, he's chunky. You can pretty much reuse the grapple transformation for him. Yeah.
You know, maybe it's because I'm in like the trenches of this fandom in terms of like knowledge and whatnot, but I feel like this design is actually pretty well known enough that I could see it happening maybe in mainline one day, or if not, I hate to say, I guess I hate to say it, but heavy retool of Inferno maybe, because like the rough shapes are kind of there. It's the main problem would be that hood, because like I don't know if that's what the hood is, or like the front of the cab is supposed to look like in truck mode. We've never gone like.
Yeah, have we ever seen truck mode?
No, I don't. It's always been just that one image, you know.
Because I'm sort of when I look at it, I'm sort of imagining like a powered convoy style transformation, where like the front robot has its own robot mode, and then it like folds up and becomes a sort of chest block.
Okay, that one would be real. I'd be so down for that as like a leader class thing. But I assume what's supposed to happen is it's just a fire truck that turns into Rodimus, like directly, no in betweens or anything.
Maybe. I mean, when I look at this, I sort of look at like I kind of imagine if it was ever made, it would be one of those like big chunky Star Saber style Japanese only toys, you know?
He does have a very brave air about him.
He does.
I apologize. This is probably the most boring pick on the list. I just thought he looks cool.
No, I feel like
no, that's valid.
It's a very valid pick. Plus, like, it's also gotten a lot of attention because of what is it? X-Transbox. They're retooling their Inferno into this, which is like it's an X-Transbot figure. I know those figures kind of carry some contention with them, like in terms of like how people view the company. But like the fact that they're pulling out a new Rodimus, it's such a cool pick. Like honestly,
it's definitely interesting because we've never seen a fire truck Rodimus before.
Yeah, no,
and it's such an obvious choice too. Like, because his whole thing is flames.
Maybe. I mean, I feel like the fire truck thing fits Optimus Prime's character a bit better.
I think it fits both of them pretty swell.
I don't know. In some ways, like on the topic of fire trucks, I really feel like we should get more fire truck Optimuses as opposed to truck and trailer. Don't get me wrong, truck and trailer makes sense as like the leader of a convoy, you know. But like, I feel like a fire truck carries a sense of grandeur to it.
Oh, I'm absolutely a fire truck Optimus Prime supremacist. I think Optimus Prime should be a fire truck.
I basically just really want to see like a G1 style fire truck Optimus, not turning into identical Optimus, but just more like, you know, kind of same look but out of a different vehicle. Again, which is what I liked about VNR. Like, it does that same thing.
Yeah, I've not got much to say. It's just a cool-looking design, and I'd like to see a toy of it.
Yeah, that's all that really needs to be said.
Mm-hmm.
IdArmed, you're up.
All right, my next pick is, again, kind of another broad group. It's the Micromaster 6 Combiners. They don't really have a name. They're just called the because they're not the Micromaster combiners. Those are the guys who just slap together to make different vehicles and whatnot. But these are like the 6 Micromasters that form one combiner. And the reason I picked them is just because, like, I'll keep it real. We get like a lot of kind of leaders nowadays. Not in terms of like the figures outright bad, but just for $55. Sometimes we get ones that are just kind of all around, like Blitzwing. I got him for $10 recently from a friend, and even then, I still found Legacy Blitzwing to be very meh, which kind of is, disappointing. I can't imagine. I would have been very upset if I paid $55 for him. But so I feel like when you do something more special with that $55, it probably would turn out better. And I think this is it. My idea is you just get like 6 mini-con tier Micromasters. They get the full works in terms of articulation and whatnot. They come with a bunch of parts. You put them together. You got like a slightly taller than Voyager combiner. I'd like to imagine in my mind.
It's funny you bring these up, because these figures are like the construction combiner in particular is funny, because one of my earliest Transformers memories is receiving the Constructicon repaints as like gifts. And I remember receiving it piecemeal over a period of time from like my godfather when I was really young. And so they're like some of the first Transformers I ever had. So I would absolutely be interested in them.
Plus, like, they carried, I feel like they always carry a much more unique vibe than G1 combiners, even though they have a pretty similar enough conversion scheme of 2 guys form the arms, 2 guys form the legs, and in this case, 2 guys form the torso, I believe. They do a lot more with their kibble, in terms of like some of them form like jets or weapons or whatnot. And they all feel, I think another thing is the G1 Micromasters feel pretty super robot-y, but these guys feel like they're like on the cusp of like how some Brave guys look, I feel like.
I mean, they're almost straight up Braves.
Exactly. So like that kind of is a thing we don't get as much. Like, we do get like the more super robot-y Transformer guys in Generation. We got Metal Hawk this year, you know what I mean? But like they're still kind of brickish, kind of. Well, I mean, super robots are also brickish, but like they always carry a bit of a more of a superhero vibe to them, and I feel like this is a really good way to get that kind of vibe back in Generations. And I think that's basically all I had to say about them. Because again, it's a pretty straightforward idea, but like if they did it, it would be really exciting.
Would the individual component pieces be like you reckon they'd be the same size as Core Class? You reckon? Because I just wondering.
I feel like they'd be just a bit like shorter, or maybe even just a bit taller than it to like justify being the size of the.
Because I was just wondering whether perhaps instead of Leader Class, they'd market these in the same way that they'd be doing the upcoming Dino King.
That's true, but my thing, as a bigger box set, yeah, I'd be cool with it, like totally.
I mean, the thing is, do you want them to be perfect combiners, or do you want to keep the whole combiner kibble thing they have going?
I'd want them to keep the kibble, because like the kibble, they interact with the kibble in more than just combine mode,
Yeah.
Plus, I feel like by giving them combiner kibble, you do end up getting more work. You can work more on those robot modes to make them the best they can, while also working as good vehicles and combiner parts.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, I think this would be a very interesting play pattern to see brought back. And at the leader price point, I think it would do pretty well.
And again, my whole other reason is just I feel like it'd be way more exciting to get like another Voyager with a couple of weapons or whatever. I feel like I've been better at it, even if the toys aren't the best. Like to get like basically nice big leaders like Dreadwing, Skyquake, Megatron, and now Tigerhawk, TM2 Megatron. It's nice. I'm glad we're slowly starting to move away from the whole Voyager class with a couple extra doodads. But we are getting Sandstorm next wave, so we'll see how that turns out. So, anyways, I think.
All right, if that's it, Not Char, you're up.
All right. I actually forgot what I picked. So okay. Wait, Clench rather. All right, Clench was sort of a simple pick for me. I just think he's a cool design. I just think he's a cool design, and I feel like if you looked at him again with modern engineering, I feel like you could do a lot with him. I like trucks. I think trucks are cool. I think a Decepticon truck is cool. I think his transformation scheme, with the front of the truck becoming the shoulders, is also pretty cool.
It's Clench
Monkey's
is like
paw time.
Clench.
Monkey's paw
Yeah.
time. He'll just be a Laser Optimus repaint.
I would end
Oh.
up actually right then and there. You don't imply that, please.
God.
I was like, and like here's I actually contemplated doing a custom way back like last year or whatever, but as time has gone on, I keep thinking like this guy's not even like close. So, like number one, that chest is like now one of my favorite chests ever. It's just the squiggly lines and all that nonsense that like kind of coalesces to become like, or whatever the word is, to like form something coherent and amazing. Plus, like the windows on as kneecaps is like a look you never see. Like, and then of course, having the grills just be his big shoulder blocks is like the coolest thing ever. And all of it
like
seems
that.
more than simple enough to like do as a leader class and include the weird thing, the thingamajig. So
Yeah, the big gun thing. I feel like you could reduce how much of the vehicle mode the gun thing becomes so that you could give more mass to Clench.
I mean, remind me, the thing is just that little box on the trailer, or does it also include the back half of the truck?
It's the back half of the truck, including the
Okay.
rear wheels.
Okay, yeah, I see the wheels just are the side panels. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see them making him like the whole truck, and I don't think it would change up that much, like for the worse.
What you would do is you'd basically have the rear of the truck, and you'd have like the mass there to play with. Maybe bulk him out a bit more, you know.
Yeah, no, and because like God, if you bulk out this design even more, it'd probably still look just as cool. Because that Botcon figure looks so good. Like, even though it's just what is it like?
It's an Onslaught repaint.
It's an Onslaught repaint, but like, oh my God, it looks so cool.
Yeah, totally.
I think this character would be arguably better suited for Commander class if they wanted to work in like the full function of the trailer. I don't own the Generation 2 Clench toy. I don't know about any of you guys.
No, I don't actually own the figure. I just think it's a cool design. I've never seen it.
Frankly, I just think more figures from Euro G1 and G2 just need to be given more attention.
No,
Oh no, absolutely.
It's I mean, on topic of like G2, considering this is a G2 custom. Oh my God, a G2 character. I do hope we slowly start weaning back into like doing G2 quote unquote G2 universe guys that aren't just G1 character repaints. Like, I know that was the point of Toxitron collection, but like I hope that doesn't kind of spell out what the rest of it's going to be for a while, because I would love to just start getting unique characters again, like G-Axis started off last year.
G-Axis? You mean the Transformer I'm currently writing a review on? Wink.
Oh!
Haha.
Oh my God.
Tune in to Kit Reviews next
Next
quarter.
So
Yeah.
Next financial quarter.
4 reviews a year.
are we ready to move on to Rune's pick?
I think
got
I've
nothing
said
else to say
everything I
on
need to.
Clench.
Pardon?
So yeah, I guess we're ready then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my pick is Animated Lugnut. His original toy was at the Voyager price point, and I just think he deserves bigger and better. Not much more to say beyond that.
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
This one feels really justifiable. I feel like if like you said, hey, let's do a legacy Lugnut, I feel like some people would bring up the Reveal the Shield Lugnut, which is an amazing figure, but when you really think about it, it's very much its own thing, like in many ways that like
Yeah,
you can't really call that animated.
If anything, it's more like a movie Lugnut to me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's my Generation 1 Lugnut, and then I would totally just buy a new animated Lugnut to be animated Lugnut, just kind of G1 a bit.
I mean, it's one of those figures where it's like, it's just the size class it was always supposed to be.
Yeah, no, again, I don't know if I would have been disappointed by this figure as a kid. It looks actually really fun, don't get me wrong, but like I'm talking more in the sense of scale.
I mean, are animated always had a problem with scale toys.
But yeah, I mean, at the leader class, they could obviously still work in the whole tail mace thing he's got going on there. The punch of kill everything could be effects parts compatible if they felt like it. I don't know if they'd be able to work in some articulation with the head, because I think on the original toy it was static. And whether or not they do an atomic lug nut for selects, if they made a leader lug nut for legacy, well, I guess maybe we'll find out. Maybe in a decade or so. I have no idea.
It's hopeful. I really think with we got Bumblebee and Optimus next year. We're getting Motormaster at the end of the year next year. I hope we start weaning into like this not actual Decepticons. Motormaster is an actual Decepticon. I mean like our
Original mold Decepticons.
Yes.
I would like to say that if this were boosted up to Commander class, I would love to see it included with some huge explosion effects.
Oh yeah, like an explosion effect specifically for the punch of kill everything.
Yeah, like one for like the like explosion it creates in his fist, and then like some extra ones to put around him on like a display, like some fire and stuff like that. Maybe like a shockwave or a blast wave.
If his transformation was simple enough, I think they could get away with including effects parts at the leader price point.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think that's me done. So Commander class, Kit.
Sorry, I realized my microphone was muted. So this sort of goes hand in hand with.
You haven't changed the slide.
I know.
Oh.
I'm just getting to it. This sort of my next pick goes sort of hand in hand with Clench from earlier, and it's in the sort of same vein as New Rodimus. I picked another unused design, this time from late G1, early G2, that being Hyperdrive. The more I look at him, the more I realize he's just Thunderclash if he turned into the whole thing. So it seems like a little bit of a superfluous choice, but I again, another unused design from a very relatively obscure era of Transformers history. Can you just imagine how fucking gaudy he would look? I think he would. I think it would be a pretty interesting choice.
I like it. I really like it. I like how the front of the truck becomes the whole shins.
Yes, and that's sort of why I picked him for Commander class instead of Leader, because he looks like he's supposed to be huge.
Yeah.
So might as well make him the second biggest size class.
I feel like if you made this toy, you could pack him with a bunch of features.
Oh, I'm back in.
Yeah, I don't really know what sort of gimmicks he would have. The only frame of reference I have is Thunderclash and what he does. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what Hyperdrive would get up to. Maybe he could have like a sort of Power Master Optimus Prime-esque base mode.
Maybe, but like in the hypothetical, they say, "Hey, let's do Fire Drive," because like he's like if there's something beyond a Z-lister, he's kind of that, right? I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah. His head is literally a mix of Starsaber and Thunderclash.
I don't know if I see the Thunderclash. I feel like I need
the top of his head. Look at that.
But yeah, I feel like you'd have to do something kind of different because like we've been getting too many Voyagers with trailers for our commanders, and they're fun toys, but eventually it is getting a little tiring, I guess.
Well, the good thing about this one is that if it were up to me, it would be entirely integrated.
Like Magnus was this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like you'd have to give him the Thunderclash colors as well, just to differentiate him from Optimus Prime, because he kind of does look like an Optimus Prime variant.
What if we gave him like powered convoy color?
Dude, I'm
like imagine he was like navy blue and gold.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of gold.
Throw in like pink highlights, like pink trim. That would look spectacular, wouldn't it?
I think so, because I do like all those colors when I paint, so I'd be very accustomed to it by then for like me to like it, you know.
I might have to print this out and color it in some crayon.
Or you can just sticky bash it.
As soon as someone mentioned truck cab halves form the shins, I guess it's my turn for a monkey's paw now. Motormaster retool.
You
Who
know,
would he combine with then?
Well,
Probably,
they were
like-
already suggesting that Thunderclash would be a worthwhile Motormaster retool anyway, because he has that extra bit that turns into like a gun on a stand that sort of looks like Thunderclash's base mode if you squint really hard and gouge out one of your eyes.
No.
I could see it, at least. I could see Thunderclash being taken out of Motormaster. With some heavy retooling.
If you like heavily retooled the rest of the trailer and the truck, maybe. Maybe. No, you'd have to retool the entire. The only thing I can see being the same is maybe with maybe some aspects of the trailer. You'd have to change the cab completely, and you'd have to like the only thing that would be the same is maybe the gun, and that's it.
Either way, we'll all be upset.
Yeah, no, I don't listen, because this is a thing from like well over a year ago. Like the rumor, like the genuine rumor that there was Thunderclash tooling. Like I think there was some stuff to back it up. But like I don't know if I'd want it at this point. I feel like I think we deserve. I don't know if deserves the right word, but like a proper Thunderclash would be much better, personally.
Yeah,
So-
I'd be down for a proper Thunder Crash.
So yeah, just like New Rodimus, I don't have an awful lot to say about this guy except, unused design would look pretty cool.
Yeah, no, like absolutely.
So IdArmed, your choice
Yep.
for commander. If we're all done.
Yeah.
gonna
So
pass
to
this
the Shaka no one again. If you know me kind of well, Sky Gary, because I feel
I
like
wonder
this guy is like the epitome of everything I want Commander Class to be. A nice big figure. Like I'm talking like very old school leader big, for one. That isn't just like a truck with trailer, right? And does a decent number of things. Because like you see Sky Gary, and he's like, oh, this is like stupid basic, right? And honestly, like I can't blame someone for thinking that, but like in just a couple of pictures from the TF Wiki's image of it, you see like he has a gimmick where he literally becomes longer, and you can put micro trailers, which are like those things in the center top of the second image on the right hand of it. You can just store more on him. You can store, I think, like up to 3 in that if that pic shows it, and like that's really cool. And then it even turned into a base mode with the micro trailer helping to like finish it off. And again, talking about play patterns and stuff, like this is how I feel like this is a big way to bring back airlock functionality, modulator functionality, without him being a modulator. I would not want him to be a modulator, right? But just like I feel like Commander Class, I think has to do a lot with getting Ultimate Primal recently. Like Commanders and Titans don't need to be like hyper involved or anything. They just need to be big bricks that happen to pose really well and you can play around with. I feel like this is like literally one of the best ways to do it.
I really wonder what IdArmed's Commander Titan class pick is going to be. I really wonder. But no, I honestly really think that the carrying gimmick looks really cool.
It's really like Jed. This is a figure I would love to get my hands on and mess with a couple of micro trailers on the side, like just get a feel for it. The only thing is, Return of Convoy figures, like this late era, this was, I think, 91? Because 89 was like Victory's Year, 90 was Zone. This was Return of Convoy, Battlestar.
Yeah, 91
right?
checks out.
These go for amounts of money I can never pay for a toy. Like at this point in my life, I would feel horrible if I paid this much. It's ironic because, we talked about Great Robot Base earlier. So who am I to tell? But like, it's a figure it's a character I'd love to see pop up in some shape or form, like with all of its original gimmicks and represented somehow.
Imagine if the micro trailers had like flip out wings or whatever and could turn into like little drop ships that you could play with, and Like there could be like a little dropship gimmick. I think
Like-
that would be fun.
Honestly, the whole thing
Microtrailers?
gives me like a Star Wars vibe.
Yeah.
I can kind of see it. I actually have this is still like it's been like over a year. If any of you guys know Sam Sport, I assume all of you do.
Yeah, I've met him in real life.
Yeah, no, great guy. I also met him in real life. He's have plans on helping me with this upgrade kit to turn a Earthrise grapple with a bunch of its parts removed into a micro trailer, which is very exciting. But no, I think at some point in the future, I would love to see micro trailers return somehow. The hard part is just like how do you release them? I feel like, but you could probably just do it for some like pulse thing, you know, put one in a pack of like 1 billion accessories.
Yeah, yeah. Or you could do like a core class one if you weren't too bothered about like the functionality of having a Micromaster actually being able to drive in. You could do
No,
like
I
a
feel
core
like
class one.
that kind of needs to stick. That needs to be there. I really feel like because I think that's it's like the point of it.
Fair. I guess your best bet would just be having some included in this figure and maybe some other figures.
Yeah, but no, Sky Gary, let's get him, please, for me.
Yeah, I another one I've not got much to say on. It's a cool looking design. I have no particular attachment to this era. What is it? Return of Convoy.
Return of Convoy. Yep, the battle stars.
Yeah, it's a cool looking design, and great for those who want it. And I think that based on the pictures there, the Commander class seems the right choice for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If not, I could also see it really realistically happening at leader class scale, but I feel like a little bit of the grandeur is lost, as well as like I feel like a lot of functionality with hypothetical for Micromasters to fit in scaled micro trailers.
All right, I feel like that wraps it up for Sky Gary. Not Char, are you up?
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a interesting pick in my opinion. This is another one of those figures which is like something that was released way too small originally, because Depth Charge was released as a scout class, which is the second smallest scale that was on the market back in the day. And of course, he turns into a whole-ass battleship, which are huge. And I just think it would be really cool to have a giant like a big-ass battleship guy in sort of a hybridized G1 movie style aesthetic.
Yeah, I'd be really down for. I had the original at some point. I sold it because I wasn't really attached to it as part of my collection per se. But like, for talking as a toy, it's like really fun. But yeah, I guess it would be really freaking cool to like see it bumped up to like Commander class, make it like a foot tall figure or whatnot. Kind of like how a lot of people ask for Stratosphere from the movies. So like,
Yeah,
is like a big guy. It's a very fair one, I'd say.
So just to clarify, Char, are you saying that you would want like a movie universe character done in a sort of classic sort of Chug aesthetic, or would you prefer kind of what they're doing now in a studio series with concept art, like concept art Depth Charge, a studio series Commander class?
well, I'd be happy with either, really. If they gave them more, I suppose, movie G1 aesthetic, because I don't think we've actually had any movie characters in Legacy, have we?
No, we haven't. That's pretty much the purview of Studio Series. But fortunately, Studio Series does count as Chug, so...
I mean, if that's the case, I mean, I guess I'd be happy with either. I'd be interested to see how they would try and translate movie design into a sort of G1 aesthetic, but it would also just be cool to have a giant Commander class movie figure of Depth Charge. I don't think Depth Charge would be the first Commander class they do for Studio Series. Have they already done a Commander class?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Ultra Magnus.
Ultra Magnus. So.
Oh right, Studio Series 86.
Which honestly, I'll say it looks. The more I see it, the more I do really want to get it at some point. But like it is a bit silly to first SS commander as Ultra Magnus. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think it would be a really cool design. I think if they did a movie concept art series commander class depth charge, that would be really cool.
Yeah, I think because both depth charge and the redeco sonar, it's my favorite. It's my favorite scout mold from the Revenge of the Fallen / Hunt for the Decepticons lineup, and
there are a lot of gems in there.
He'd be cool at commander class. They could work in the skis formed from the majority of the boat, and
technically they'd be called hydrofoils.
If this toy got made, that picture on the left would have to be a mode for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it'd be a requirement.
Imagine if like they put in like little flotation devices in the legs, so you could have it in the bath or something.
Oh my gosh, that would God, that would be really fun.
Yeah, I'd love to see depth charge. I'd love to see sonar if they felt adventurous, and you know what? I'm going to go a step further. I'd honestly be interested in seeing Dry Dock, which was a cancelled redeco of depth charge for Hunt for the Decepticons.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That is
Can we get movie universe Blue Maximus, please?
That is like Rune. That is an insane pull. Oh my god.
Well, it seems that there's only one commander left to do. That's up to you, Runestone.
Yes, my pick for commander class is Energon Universe Optimus Prime, with the footnote that they would also do Wing Saber at Leader and Omega Supreme at Titan. I didn't pick them for like my primary, I didn't pick Wing Saber for the slideshow because I wanted to focus on other continuities and whatnot. But continuing a potential trend of Unicron Trilogy Primes doing it commander class, I think this would be a golden opportunity. With they could use that size class to clean the cab a little bit because Lord knows it needs it. They could actually conceal the arms and the head properly. They could deco the trailer up a little bit more, working some extra articulation for the combined mode. I just think what else can I say? I just think it'd be appropriate for commander class.
Yeah, no, like it would, because I have to imagine in this case Optimus himself would be bigger than a Voyager. So like I personally feel like he would be, because
I would be interested in this toy. I have one question. Would you want them to incorporate a face swap gimmick?
Maybe a sliding faceplate rather than like a detachable face, because I know what you're referring to. The early run of the original Energon Optimus Prime toy had an actual mouth instead of the traditional mouth plate. I think that was a production error of some kind.
It's a wild production error.
It's not what was in the final version, but it's kind of its own iconic look. I'm not gonna lie.
I would prefer if the helmet just sort of flips up and you spin the face around like
that's
Good Cop, Bad
something
Cop
I
from the
was
Lego
imagining,
movie.
actually.
That's what Car's been doing with with Super Megatron and again Ultimate Primal does the exact same thing. Like they do it in different ways slightly, but the idea is still the same. So like I could totally see.
What if like each of the 4 little Prime Force vehicles could be their own dudes?
Yeah.
What if they were like themed on like the Protectobots or something, and you'd have like Blades, Hotspot, Depth Charge, and of course Drill Nuts.
Drill Nuts. I wonder what the child-friendly name would be for something like
Drill Testicles, obviously.
But I think that'd be cool. Or like just another thing, if you don't want to encumber the vehicle mode and limb modes, is to like have flip out seats for maybe like Titan Masters or Micro Masters if you want to go a little bigger. Because I think there are a lot of ways to make that trailer, and I actually think it's a pretty fun trailer to begin with. The way it opens up so uniquely, the shape of it. I feel like you could do even more with it to make it more of a play set, you know? So
Yeah. I remember that being one of the biggest complaints about the Energon trailer, was that it was kind of just a brick. Of course, the original trailer was just a brick, but like it was just a thing that held things instead of like being able to fold
Right.
out into stuff. And I feel like if you did like a commander class version, you could like maybe make some sort of more play feature heavy version of it.
It could even be as simple as just like adding some 5mm holes and some Titan Master pegs, airlock ports, whatnot, you know?
What if instead of shooting the submarine out the front, the slider thing opened a door on the bottom that it
So
would
yeah,
drop
stuff
out
like
of?
I feel like if you had both, that would be really good. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. I kind of just want. I would love an update. Don't get me wrong, especially how impressed I was by Armada Optimus and Legacy this year. But I still really want to mess with the original, even own it. Honestly,
I'm gonna be honest, controversial opinion here. I thought Armada Optimus was a tad boring.
really,
Yeah, it was a little underwhelmed.
I can see where you're coming from, the shapes and stuff. But I think he just hit the right notes for me. But I still understand where you're coming from, like for sure. But
Yeah, the core robot is amazing. The transformation into the super robot is pretty cool. Super robot itself is kind of flat.
Yeah, it really is the super robot that is my least favorite part, because the main robot on the inside is just perfect. Well, not perfect, but reasonably good. If they ever sold it on its own in Powerlinks colors, I would definitely buy it, but I don't think I would shell out again for the full package.
fair enough. It's hard to shell out the $90 for a repaint commander. You know what I mean? Like,
I am still hoping they make the updated Jetfire and Overload to go with it to sort of fill out the super robot mode even more.
but I don't know. I feel like Energon Optimus is like probably the easiest of the UT Optimuses to update and have it go maybe even better than the original. You know?
Would you try and change the core robot proportions at all?
What, to look a little more flattering, we'll say?
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, I know that there's some people who, in their own way, find the proportions of the the standalone Optimus Prime figure amusing. It's although he's proportioned that way because, well, the way he combines with his drones, that's what bulks him out. Just going back to what Kit said earlier, when you brought up the protector bots, one thing came to mind. Power Core Combiner Stakeout with his protector bot drones.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice shout. I considered using Stakeout for one of the names, but I forgot what he turned into.
Sorry, what? Who what turned into?
Stakeout. I forgot what
He's an
Stakeout
ambulance,
turned
isn't he?
into. Yeah, so it wouldn't have worked on my funny drone names.
Yeah. Go. I just say go for it. I say improve the truck mode, possibly improve the robot proportions, improve the combined modes articulation, and that's all that can be said. And then just end the trend with a Commander class Cybertron Optimus Prime, because Lord knows the Galaxy Upgrade one doesn't look that impressive.
It's shit.
So that's me done for Commander class. Let's wrap this up with Titan.
Yeah, well,
Right.
My pick is well out of left field. I just went for something silly. I picked Violent Jiger because look at him. I don't know what he turned into. I don't know what gimmicks he'd have behind it besides the whole face swapping thing. But I just thought it would be silly and fun just to have a Titan class Violent Jiger.
I think I know he has alt modes. And also, I'm just saying that I'd be so down for this, like genuinely, like because like I kind of dig all the wacko and like late era G1 villains that are just they look like that, you know? Like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, this is not the weirdest looking villain from this era of G1.
So I will say, if you don't know, I'm putting it in our little private chat. This is what his alt modes are, or these are what his alt modes are.
Oh, they're bugs.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's cool. He could like split into 3 things.
Exactly. It's really cool, and you know, well, I mean, Tidal Wave's about to happen, but like we haven't seen that before until Tidal Wave happens, you know. So it'd be very smart to do that, like something different. The only thing is, I could imagine him being like a smaller Titan, and what I mean is like because he's a combiner, I could see him leaning more towards like Predaking's height, because I don't know if you guys realize, but like Predaking's a pretty tiny Titan actually, like compared to like Scorponok, Fortnax, etc. So I could see Violent Jagger being that size. But I think one thing you could do to maybe make it more worth it is if he came with both other wacko late JG1 villains, aka, you know, Devil Z and Dark Nova. Like just come with like figurines of both of them. Or because like Violent or Devil Z is like an orb, right? And then Dark Nova is like a weird face.
Yeah, he's like a ball with tentacles coming out of him.
Yeah, so like just do them as like a free pack, or like, you know, you saw this Violent Tiger, but he comes with the other 2, you know.
Yeah, that would be pretty fun.
I do ultimately feel like this would be the first Titan-sized HasLab, though, if it happened, you know.
I mean, technically that was Unicron, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, right. But I feel like that goes beyond Titan, even if it's like a head taller, I guess. I don't know.
Fair enough. But yeah, that's all I had to say about Violent Jagger. I just wanted to be silly and fun.
All right, I guess it's my turn. Yeah. This is it.
To no one's surprise.
No. I feel like Titan class figures are still very fun, don't get me wrong, but I feel like a lot of them have kind of lost that playset aspect to them. Case in point, like look at Earthfire Scorponok. A wonderful figure, actually. Don't get me wrong, but like you look at Scorponok's base mode, and it's got nothing that the original toy really has. As in, like, there's no blasters for like guys to use. There's no weird elevator lifter tools on like the bottom of it. Like here, I'll quickly like share pics just so you guys get what I mean. There's not a lot going for it in terms of like if you're looking to like actually have play features. Because you kind of have to make stuff up. Like whenever I take Scorponok off my shelf, for example, and I'll put them in basement, I just kind of make up things for it to do. And I feel like Grandis is kind of the way to bring it back, because like you guys look inside, he's got like elevators, he's got like legitimate rooms, there's turrets, ramps galore. Like,
you know what he kind of reminds me of?
He's got a lot. Yeah, what does he remind you of?
The GoBots playset.
The Go
with the elevator?
Yeah, your big like dog thing or whatever. I don't know. Big dog shape. I'm forgetting the name of it. But yeah, no, just like something like that. And of course, so my thing is, if this happened, I feel like Grandis would be a smaller Titan height-wise, but he'd be a brick. Like, he'd be just a rectangle, you know? But I feel like it wouldn't be hard to also give him articulation. Like, nothing crazy, you know? He'd still have, like, ankles, maybe a waist, and whatnot, you know?
I must say, I'm just getting lost in this piece of artwork on the left-hand side. I would kill for more artwork like this of City Bots.
Honestly, it's such a nice piece of art.
It really shows the whole scale of what he's supposed to be. It's amazing.
And don't get me wrong, the artwork they do for Modern Titans are very nice as well. Like, I think the closest to something like this is probably like Arcs from Kingdom. Don't know if any of you guys can recall the box art in like from the top of your head.
Yeah, where he's picking up Megatron.
Yeah, and like there's little details, like you got Nemesis and Black Arachnius falling out of the Nemesis, like in the Netflix cartoon, which was weird. It was like kind of cross-selling with the show for some reason. Like, but that's another point. I think that's like the closest, but like you look at this and there's like so much to gawk at, and like I feel like this is something a Titan class Grandis could do if it like furls out into a complete base mode and whatnot. Like. and also the reason I picked them is because like I don't even when you acknowledge every other part of the franchise and that's not G1, I feel like we're running dry of like actually viable Titan class figures. Like there are still a lot of big characters, but I don't know if people would buy them. You know, like a lot of the IDW Titans or whatnot, or like the couple of new Titans that have shown up in like Cyberverse and that Rescue Bots Academy show. Like,
We'll get onto that later.
Do they exist? Yeah, I guess. But like at the same time, I don't know how many people would buy them. I really feel like Grandis is one of the last big guys people would actually buy into. I'm not biased, trust me.
Listen, I would buy anything with a piece of artwork that good on the box.
Yeah, artwork sells. Artwork really sells a toy. Like still, even in like 2023. Like this is
I feel like you'd have to give him a bunch of play features, considering his alt mode is just lying down.
Yeah, but I feel like you could totally actually like put in new action features, like a cockpit would be really cool. I think, for example, like that you could put a Micromaster in and whatnot.
Totally.
So not much more to say. Just me kind of gushing about how much I love the idea of Grandis. So I think I'm ready to move on.
All right. So this is a bit of a unorthodox pick. This is because I was thinking, there aren't that many Titan class figures that I really want to see, so I decided to lean into my other kind of autism. That being aircraft and military aviation and stuff like that. And I thought it would be really cool to have the USS Flag from G.I. Joe as Broadside from Transformers G1, because like the whole joke everyone has about Broadside is, oh, he's too small, he's an aircraft and an aircraft carrier. It's the silly thing. So why not just make him a massive guy who turns into an actually big aircraft carrier?
I hard agree. Like this is how you make it really cool.
Would this be his only mode?
I feel like yeah. Or maybe his only mode, or maybe you could make it so that like not really a jet, but like maybe some sort of like Cybertronian flying craft that's like also supposed to be huge.
Like a spaceship?
Something like that.
Sort of like Fans Project's version.
Yeah. Like if anyone knows Gundam, kind of like the white base from Gundam.
Yes, okay. I totally vibe with that, because here's the thing. We're almost done with the 6 original G1 triple changers happening in like the reboot era of Generation, starting with Siege. We got Springer, and now we're getting freaking 86 Springer. We got Astro Train, we got a Blitzwing, we got a Sandstorm on the way. Octane's bound to happen, I have to assume. I don't know if I'd want Broadside like that. I feel like that'd be like the safest pick ever, and I feel like it'd be kind of boring if he was just like same as the others. I feel like Hasbro or like the designers at Hasbro have to know that, and therefore I think they know people want a big Broadside, and I really hope it happens. Even if it's like Commander class, I'll take a big Commander Broadside too. Like bottom of my heart.
I mean, you know what was a really cool detail from? Does anyone remember the Titan's Return Broadside?
Yeah, I have it.
Yes, I have it.
It's a very mid figure, but one of the things that I like about it is that it comes with little mini jets on a sprue, and those mini jets are based on like actual figures.
Hell yeah, they're based.
They're based on little figures, on like actual. They're based on like actual figures. Like they had like Silverbolt, Windblade, a couple of aerial bots whose names escape me right now.
I think it was just the aerial bots.
No, I'm pretty sure Windblade was in there.
No,
I've lost them all now. So.
I have them on hand right now. I can dump them out on my desk and prove it.
All right then.
I think it was just the Combiner Wars aerial bots.
I'll be right back.
Well, I guess I'm going to be debunked. But if as I've mentioned, as I've added here, if one did an aircraft carrier transformer like this, I feel like it would only be appropriate to make some sort of core class jet formers specifically to go with him. Something that you could have launch off the catapult deck and have land and maybe go down on the elevator into the body and stuff like that. I think it would be a fun play pattern for kids.
Jesus,
and
if I could just
it would
get
be
the,
cool.
if I could just get the fucking cockpit
And
open,
you know,
Jesus Christ.
if you were to do like the aerial bots, Hasbro's already shown that they are willing to do core class combiners, even if, in my opinion, the execution of Volcanicus wasn't the best in the world. But you know, I feel like maybe if you did them at a core class or maybe even deluxe class price point, had them specifically to go with Titans class broadside, it would be really cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think one way to spin it is if they, going back to my whole thing, is if they did core class or, you know, like going back to my thing, the leader class, Superion repaint from like Universe, and there are just a bunch of tiny jets and one helicopter you can just have hang out around this broadside.
Oh yeah, totally. I
I
mean,
have the
Oh, go
I
ahead.
have
Kit.
the little miniatures out, and it is simply just the 5 aerial bots.
Oh, well, I guess I'm proved wrong then.
And it's Quickslinger, not Alpha Bravo. They just have 2 of the same one. They were boring like that.
I am well and truly debunked. You know, and of course, since it's a G.I. Joe crossover, maybe they could reissue Maverick as the Sky Striker from G.I. Joe. Or retool it somehow, so they don't. I don't know how the licenses work, if they're allowed to do if they're allowed to, like, retool a collaborative figure into another figure. I don't know how that works. But, you know, considering that they already have an F-14, it makes sense if you are making this toy, you would make a Sky Striker to go with it.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna be real. This is another pick of ours I feel like will become real at some point. Not exactly the whole not triple changing thing. I feel like he would obviously triple change. I mean more in the sense of, like, I think the next time Broadside shows up, he will turn into the Flab.
Maybe. I mean, Hasbro's kind of trying to do the whole G.I. Joe crossed over with Transformers thing. The only problem is if you try to do a broadside that turns into the USS Flag, and trying to do it at the same scale as all the other G.I. Joe Transformers toys, i.e. the actual size of the G.I. Joe toys, it would be fucking huge. Like, it would be
Yeah, no,
bigger
I don't mean that per se. I mean literally just like it's a Titan Commander whatnot thing, and it just turns into the USS Flag.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, I mean they might. I'm not sure what would be going through the designers' heads. I'm not sure what's going through their heads right now. So,
Of course.
but yeah, that's my pick.
So I
Last
guess
but
that'll
not
just
least.
leave me. I'll be honest. I've been fairly quiet with this size class because unless you want to count the Combiner Wars box set of Computron, I don't really have any Titan class figures. But arbitrarily, I just picked a Cyberverse Universe Iaconus because Char in the previous podcast did, bring up a good point about how Transformers could do with more play sets and the like, and with them having done the big 4 from Generation 1, Iaconus was just, the first thing that came to mind, because I think in the show, like the upper part of him formed, I think it was McAdam's oil house.
Yeah, it was. It was
I
like the tip of his head or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they would sculpt a bar specifically because, kids' toy, but
I mean, it was in a kid's show.
Well, yeah, it's just, but basically just something for the core class figures to hang out in. Yeah.
So I never really understood what Iaconus turns into. I know Iaconus as an Iacon, so I assume he turns into Iacon, but like, is it more than that? Like, because like I'm gonna assume he always kind of screamed. I'm gonna be real. He always like screamed, "I'm a spaceship" to me.
I think
Yeah.
that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, what you see on the screen is the actual Cyberverse Iaconus toy, and the robot looks suitably powerful, beefy, and whatnot, but the alt mode is Cybertron Metroplex levels of lazy, as far
I
as
was
I'm
gonna
concerned.
say Cybertron Metroplex. That's
It is supposed to be a quote-unquote spaceship, but Yeah, you need a pretty big imagination for that one. But yeah, include all his accessories, the shield, the sword. Yeah, not much to say for this one.
I feel like if I can say anything about it, it's like I feel like obviously a Titan class would be the chance to give this a more defined city mode. And again, like you said, it could be just a thing for people to stand around and like my pick with Grandis, because playsets rule. But yeah, like something just more defined because like I could see them making like I like the idea of honestly like a floating city or a city that can float through space, so you have like room to take a core class figure, maybe have it at a control panel, and then you have more walking room for just other characters. And in addition to that, you could also just give him his proper design because like I'm looking at his model from the show, and it's like that's not really his head, is it? It's like he wears this big like helmet, and I know that's what the Energon armor is actually, but like I feel like it should be his actual thing.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to say because there were probably other characters I could have picked for this size class, but for this particular podcast, I wanted to set myself something of a challenge because you may or may not have noticed that none of my picks are Beast Wars.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
I mean, one of them was Beast Machines, so.
Oh,
And one of them was a reprint from Beast Wars.
But nothing specifically from Beast Wars. And I was just going to say the closest you could argue was either Beast Machine Silver Bolt or, RID Gasgunk, who was a redeco of a Beast Wars toy. But again, I know that it's Gasgunk that would get the attention first.
Yeah. As far as a playset of Iacon goes, I think, wow, the first sneeze on the stream, and it's not me who's actually sick. As far as playsets go, I think Iacon would be one of the best shouts for one, since it's probably the most prolific location on Cybertron. It's just a I would love to see like a little playset of Iacon, one of Kaon, maybe one of Kolkular, just not because I'm a comics person. It's just like one of those locations that's like really unique looking.
Would you want them to turn into robots?
Sure, or not. They could like maybe they don't even have to turn into robots. They could just turn into like bases or something. Was it you who suggested something like that?
Yeah, it was. I suggested that the Arc playset should have just been a straight up playset rather than being a transforming robot.
Yeah, I would definitely love to see that idea fleshed out with more locations.
I think the issue is with this kind of stuff is that Transformer toys, even though they're smaller than they used to be, are still pretty big because of all the things that are on them. I feel like that naturally does kind of make a playset a harder thing to do. I feel like if you want to do a playset in Transformers, you can't really make it something that turns into a robot nowadays. It's got to be like a dedicated. It's got to be its own like dedicated playset that Transformers can direct it. There could be like transforming features and whatnot, but like it's still got to be its own thing.
Yeah, and the playsets themselves would have to probably be pretty small in scope, and not be like a whole city. It'd probably just be like a building or something.
Right.
Like maybe Mac Adams Oil House could be its own dedicated playset or something.
I actually really do like that one.
So yeah, that's me done.
And that's our Chug wish list wrapped up.
Yeah,
yeah.
We're 2.5 hours into this, so I think we should probably set aside the reactivate talk.
I was thinking.
I think we can save it for next month because next month is probably going to be a pretty busy month. Expecting Wave 2 of United to be revealed. Probably, I'd hope we start slowly getting Gen Selects again because oh my god, it's been a while since we got a Gen Selects thing. I'm ready for something, Yeah, I think we can save it for next month. Honestly,
maybe we'll actually have some gameplay to look at.
Oh God, that's a funny joke.
And
Game Awards is soon.
After this is done, we could start workshopping some ideas for next month's topic.
Yeah.
This is fun. I do enjoy this non reveal reaction stream a lot more than the reveal reactions. I just feel it. I just like being able to flex our muscles collectively.
Oh, absolutely. That's
It's nice not being beholden just to what Hasbro's doing.
Oh
Yeah.
fair. More fair.
And of course, we can always revisit this topic at a later date as well.
I think it'd be fun to maybe do this like every year. See, after like
It could be our yearly November episode as a lead up to Christmas.
I think like in addition to Chug wish lists, I think we should also do podcasts where we discuss sort of quote unquote original ideas and characters, like whether they're just fresh from the ground up or expansions of previous continuities. I mean, I'd be down for that.
Oh no,
Oh, I've got
Definitely.
ideas for that.
But yeah, this was fun. Runestone, you were natural at this hosting thing.
Well, yeah, I'm glad that my subpar hosting skills have,
I just said you're a natural.
Well, and obviously, sorry that you're not feeling 100%, Kit. Hopefully, in the next one, you're well and truly recovered.
Yeah, hopefully. I kind of like the idea of whoever's idea it was for the episode topic could be the host, or at least take the lead.
Well, I think wasn't this particular one sort of a joint effort or something?
I guess so, but I thought it was more your brainchild.
it very much was, honestly.
I'm not sure if I was the one who came up with it, but I think I was the one who pushed it as to have the first one done, as soon as this month.
Yeah.
What do you think we'll do next month?
Ooh.
I think that conversation is best had when we have some time to think about it after this stream's done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is there even anyone in the audience for Q&A, or do you want to wrap up?
We do have 3 viewers, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, would anyone like to do Q&A? Anyone have any questions?
There would be a little bit of a delay before people start submitting questions, so...
Yeah. I'm going to keep it real. I'm kind of ready to wrap it up, because we got...
Yeah, we're like right at the 2:45 mark. This is by far the longest stream we've done so far.
Yeah.
And I'm getting tired.
I'm also
in that case,
tired.
I mean, I guess I'll let you wrap up then, Kit, if no one else has anything to say.
Yeah.
All right, well...
I guess I'll shill my... Can I shill my cult spec?
Oh yeah. Let's do the shill wrap up.
Right. I guess I'll go first. I now have something to shill. If anyone has a 3D printer and wants replacement parts for their ROTF bludgeon, it's Not Char designs at cults3d.com. I will be posting other things there. I'm kind of starting out just with like replacement parts for Transformers figures, but I'm planning on branching out and doing some other stuff. So that's Not Char designs at cults3d.com, and it's come see what I'm doing.
Hell yeah!
Oh. This is it. This is like the beginning of like maybe one of the new designing greats in this fandom.
Maybe.
IdArmed, what do you have to shill?
My Twitter. That's it.
Plug it right now.
But yeah, no, it's at ID_armed. I'm not on there as much. We were talking about last night, Kid. I've been focusing more on IRL stuff, but I'm still pumping out the customs in the background.
Yeah, you just posted a pretty cool custom of Movie Universe Barricade repainted from animated Prowl Legacy.
No, that's animated Universe Barricade. But, yeah. But yeah, no, just the work for TFCon has been honestly some of my favorite custom work ever. I'm really excited to get the rest of it pumped out before I head down to LA in March.
All right, Runestone, what do you have to show?
By next Saturday, you should all hopefully see my review of Legacy Wild Rider.
Yes.
in terms of, I was originally going to finish off the year with a 2-part video on Tripredicus, but I pushed it back to the start of the new year. And instead, I'm just going to keep it fairly straightforward so as not to get too burnt out. The last 2 reviews I'm aiming to do are Generation 1 Huffer and Gears and
Ooh,
Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime.
nice.
Very nice.
As for myself, I am currently working on a review of Legacy G Axis, and I'm going to be following it up with reviews of Select's G2 Megatron and Legacy Laser Prime. And you can find those on this channel that you're watching right now. But I would also like to plug my Instagram, Catastrophe Kit, where I post pictures featured in all of my videos. So yeah, this has been episode 3, retroactively, of the Chugcratic Seminar, your monthly podcast for everything Transformers, and we hope to see you again in a few weeks' time. Thank you, and have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank
Have a
you.
lovely night.
Take care until all are one.